Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Get ready for some spy thrillers and Noir detective mysteries with The Man Called X, Secret Agent K7, Dangerous Assignments, Richard Diamond, Dick Tracy, The Avengers, Whistler, Shadow, Falcon, and Top Secret.
Here's your pass to the Globe Theater. This is the Globe Theater, the radio playhouse especially for men and women of the armed forces of the United Nations. Just as the Globe Theater has meant the best in entertainment since the days of Shakespeare, today it means the best in radio drama for servicemen and women all over the globe. Here to tell you about tonight's play is your host at the Globe Theater, Herbert Marshall.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Your favorite seat is ready and waiting for you here at the Globe Theater. No extra charge for lodgers. And tonight's bill is one that I trust will be well worth the hearing. There is one type of character that every actor longs to play, whether he be Sir Aubrey Smith or Roddy McDowell. That is the role of the quick-witted, romantic adventurer who moves through Monte Cristo-esque experiences, confronted with innumerable dangers, but usually confounding his adversaries by sharp thinking and subtle humor. Always, of course, there is a lovely girl who makes the confounding all the more worthwhile. As I say, such is the part that every actor longs to play. Now, there are decided advantages about being your host here at the Globe Theater, for that means that I'm also the casting director. And when a fat, juicy part of the title I've just described turns up, whom do you suppose was chosen to portray it? Well, not Sir Aubrey Smith or Roddy McDowell. I need only add that the title of this play is The Man Called X. What happens is of an exciting nature, I think you'll agree. So, let's up the curtain and let the play begin.
Tonight, he finds himself involved with murder, music, and a blonde Madonna. But at the moment, he and Nancy, his best girl, are sitting in a booth in a smart cocktail lounge in Midtown Manhattan.
Ken, darling,
Yes, dear.
you'll get a kink in your neck staring at that blonde. Why don't you just go over and sit with her at the bar? I won't mind.
Nancy, I look at other women only to remind myself that not one of them can compare with you, my sweet.
Oh, that's better, Angel.
Pietro,
Yes, sir?
2 martinis with onions.
Yes.
I don't know why I ever fell in love with you, Ken. You know, I should have gone for a really attractive gent. Like that one over there.
Where?
At the bar, sitting next to that blonde gal you've been ogling. You see him?
Yes. Why, great Scott. Bill Nesbitt.
Huh? Somebody call me?
Bill, over here.
Oh, for the love of Ken Thurston, I haven't seen you
Since last college reunion. Nancy, this is Bill Nesbitt, my old roommate, and the best all-American tackle ever. Bill, this is my fiancée, Nancy Bessington. She thinks she's a reporter.
I'm glad to meet you, Nancy.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
I've been following your career, Ken. Congratulations. You always were interested in solving unsolvable puzzles.
How about you? I understand you're the finest synthetic chemist in the country.
I've done a little in synthetics.
Your drinks, fine. Join us, Bill?
What? And take him away from his beautiful blonde?
What blonde?
That girl sitting next to you at the bar.
Oh, she's not with me. I don't even know her.
Oh, and fine. Sit with us, huh?
Well, I've still got half a drink at the bar. I'll get it.
Hey, seems like a nice guy.
He is.
Hey, this is swell seeing you again, Ken.
Go on, sit down. What are you doing?
Well, I'm on my way to Italy.
Italy. Sounds mighty mysterious.
Secret stuff. Say, have either of you the time?
4:10.
Oh, gee, I've got to make a phone call to the office.
When do you leave?
Well, I've got to catch a bus at the airline terminal in 15 minutes.
Don't have too much time.
No, I'll be right back.
I wonder why Bill is going to Italy. hard of the place for a civilian to go these days.
Oh, stop acting like a bird dog in October.
Darling, you know I promised you I'd settle down.
And I'm going to see to it that you keep that promise, baby.
Bartender. Bartender.
Yes, miss?
Oh, looks like your blonde friend is shutting off.
How much do I owe you? Quick, please tell me.
That'll be 75 cents, please.
Here you are.
I think she dresses in horrible taste.
Oh, Nancy, aren't you being a little hard on her?
Lady, come back. Lady, you left change out of a $5 bill.
No, I wonder why she was in such a rush.
Probably just remembered her date with a boyfriend.
Maybe so. Pardon me, darling, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Pietro, where's the phone booth?
All right there, sir.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Bill. Are you all right? Hey, Bill. Good Lord.
Ken, what's happening?
It's Bill. He's dead.
Oh, no. How?
Pietro,
Yes, sir?
don't wash that glass he was drinking from.
Oh, why not, Ken?
I have a hunch the police chemist will find it was full of poison.
Oh, it's good to get back in my own apartment. You know, I'm not as used to looking at corpses as you are, and I feel a little sick.
Yeah, I know. I don't feel particularly chipper myself. Poor Bill. He would have won the Nobel Prize for chemistry one of these days.
Ken, who could have done such a thing?
I don't know.
What's that you're looking at?
Something I found in Bill's pocket.
Oh, but Ken, the police should have that.
They will after I've read it. Ah,
Well, what does it say?
there's just a name and address on it. Look.
Luigi Antonelli, Umbrati, Italy.
Umbrati. Never even heard of it. Must be just a tiny village.
Wonder who Antonelli is.
You can bet whoever Antonelli is, he's mixed up in this affair somehow.
I wonder in what way.
So do I. And I intend to find out.
Oh, no, Ken, no, not Italy. Why poke your nose into this?
Because I don't like old friends of mine being poisoned. I'm funny that way. So this is the town of Umbrati.
See, Senora Thurston?
Not much of it left, eh?
The Nazis. They make ruin everything before the Americans have come.
Well, they didn't ruin your spaghetti. It's a masterpiece.
Gracias, Senora Thurston.
Give me back my $5.
Yeah, before we stop.
Now, you've made a guy's mistake, gentlemen. Atlantic Crossing will make you look like Mussolini's ghost.
What's all the trouble over there? Those GIs look as though they're going to lose their tempers.
The American soldiers. They know like the souvenirs, what they buy from Castro the peddler. See him over there.
Castro the peddler, eh? That's good.
You know him?
That, my friend, is an understatement. I must meet Castro the peddler.
This is the last time we ask for life. Come on, boys. 1, 2...
Here, boys. What's the trouble?
Mr. Felton!
Egon Zelsmith, what mess are you in now?
Oh, you are a savior. As I
What's he done, boys?
This drifter tells us he's a genuine Italian curiosity. Look what mine says on the bottom.
Made in Newark, USA. Egon, give the gentlemen back their money.
Oh, but, Mr.
If you
Thurston-
don't, they'll tear you limb from limb, and I'll sit and applaud.
Mr. Thurston, you are a sadist. Here you are, fellows, $20.
That's better.
I'm shocked, Egon. You, a common peddler. There's more to this than meets the eye, though, isn't there?
No, I'm just a poor peddler that peddles.
Yes. I can make you a better financial proposition.
Mr. Thurston, those words are like the soft wings of a bird. How much?
50.
100.
50.
All right. What do I steal?
Not yet. Do you know a man called Antonelli?
You are lucky. I am more than familiar with that name.
Who is he?
Luigi Antonelli was professor of music at the University of Florence.
What the devil would Bill want with the professor? Did you say was?
Yes. Alas, Signor Professore Antonelli died yesterday. Today is his funeral.
Stand back, Agar. Here, behind this tombstone.
I dislike graveyards intensely.
But this funeral fascinates me. Why are there only those two mourners?
Alas, Signor Antonelli had but few friends.
Who are those two women?
His sister and her daughter. They've just arrived from Rome recently.
Oh, so they just came down from Rome, did they?
Yes.
Well, a few days ago, I saw that girl sitting at a bar in New York.
Impossible. She just came
Agar
down.
agrees me to tell you this, but you are lying.
Mr. Thurston, if you did not pay me so well, I would be hurt to the quick.
How well do you really know these two women? Tell me the truth.
I have never spoken to them.
For $50 more, would you tell me the real truth?
Aha, in that case.
I thought so.
But cash?
In a cemetery?
Well, the dead will not object to a small financial transaction. Cash, please.
Oh, all right, here you are.
Good. Now, the truth is this. I pretend to be a peddler. Those charming ladies pay me to stay in this town so I can notify them should anyone try to get near their house.
Why are they so eager to keep people away from that house?
Who knows? Perhaps, I merely say, perhaps Signor Antonelli is not in that coffin at all. Be quiet, Mr. X. The women will be back soon from the funeral.
This mansion is quite a dump.
The Palazzo Antonelli dates back to the Borgias.
Where would Antonelli be?
I do not know. I've never seen him.
Where does that staircase lead?
Oh, to the bedchamber.
Let's try it.
Mr. Thurston, the women will be back soon.
Courage, Agar.
The staircase was built too steep.
Listen. Behind that door. Door's locked. Signor Antonelli, can you hear me?
It gives me goosebumps to listen to that.
Sounds out of his mind. But why is he being kept a prisoner? I will give you 50.
If you were to offer me $1 million, I could not tell you. These women confide very little to me.
Then you're slipping, Agar. Signor Antonelli, I am an American. I know you are being held a prisoner. Can you hear me?
This is like a lunatic asylum. Let us get out of here.
Yes, the ladies will be back soon anyway. I don't want to meet them this way.
Mr. Thurston, what does this Signor Antonelli mean to you?
I haven't the faintest idea yet. Maybe I'll know more after a formal call I intend to pay this afternoon.
Si, signore?
I have come to offer my condolences at your loss. I am Signor Thurston from America. I studied music under your uncle at the University of Florence.
Won't you come in? Mama, this is Signor Thurston. He knew Uncle Luigi, and he has come to pay his respects.
You come at an unhappy time, Signore. But since you are here, won't you sit down?
Signora, I too feel your loss very keenly. Your brother taught me much about music and more about life. He was a great man.
You are right. I am glad to know that someone young and a foreigner still holds his memory dear.
What was the cause of his death, Signora?
While my daughter and I were at Rome, the Nazis occupied this village. They knew how my brother felt toward them.
Don't cry, Mama. The past is over.
I came here to Umbrati hoping to talk over old times with him. I was shocked to hear.
You're very kind, Signor.
Not at all.
We are being ungracious, Tina. I will get some wine for Senor Thurston.
Yes, Mama.
The Nazi swine in their retreat from you wonderful Americani at least forgot to loot our wine cellars. I believe you will enjoy our wine. It is the finest in these parts. You will excuse me.
Certainly. Strange.
Why do you look at me like that?
I came to find death, and I found beauty.
You are making love to me, Signore. You choose a most unhappy time.
When a man is swept off his feet, as I am now, love does not wait on birth or death.
I had heard how impetuous Americans were. No, Signore.
One tender kiss of, shall we say, friendship.
What would my mother think?
She's still in the wine cellar.
Well, then, one.
Your name?
Tina.
Tina. I could compose a tone poem to that name.
Please, Mother is coming back.
Mother has no sense of timing.
Those steps are hard on an old woman. Here, Tina. Pour Senor Thurston's glass.
What an exquisite goblet.
Yes. Botticelli made it for our ancestors.
Probably the Borgias?
Signore does not know his history. The Borgias were poisoners.
So they were.
Here, Signore. Taste it and tell me if you ever had a finer Barolo.
Yes. Drink, Signore.
What, neither of you joining me?
No, Signore.
Then I insist your daughter at least take part in an old American custom. It is called the loving cup. When a man meets a girl as exquisite as you are, Tina, he asks her to drink first from his glass.
Tina is too young to drink.
Oh, surely an exception can be made.
My daughter accepts your flattery, Signore. However...
It isn't flattery. To look at your daughter is to have some of the chill taken from the memory of her dead uncle.
You have not touched your wine, Signore.
I wouldn't think of it until your daughter first sipped from my glass.
I have told you I cannot allow my daughter
But I insist.
It is difficult to know where flattery ends and rudeness begins with you.
Come now, Tina. Surely you can't object to drinking your own wine? Or can you?
Of course not. No, certainly not.
Well, then.
Very well.
Tina, no.
You did not really think I was going to drink it, did you, Signore?
Considering that it would probably kill you, I doubted it very much.
And now the comedy is over, Signore.
Oh, I see you know how to use a revolver also.
Yes, and I must insist that you stand quite still, or I will shoot a hole between your very attractive eyes.
Egon.
Yes, Signore?
Aha, Egon, of course, hiding behind the screen.
I'm coming, Signore. Poor Mr. Thurston. You should not have come here.
Egon, take care of this gentleman.
As always, it is a pleasure to take care of Mr. Thurston.
Show him to the cellar.
And tie him up securely.
Just my luck. Here I am having a quiet little party with two of the loveliest ladies in Italy, and I have to go to a nasty cellar with Egon. Egon, don't you think that gun is superfluous?
With you, I take no chances.
Where is your shame? Taking my money and then telling those women who I am.
Mr. X, believe me, it is very difficult to have both a conscience and a bank book at the same time.
Oh, dear, what wouldn't you do for money?
Offhand, I can't really imagine.
How much did they pay you to double-cross me?
1,000 lira.
I thought so. 1,000 lira. Not worth the paper it's printed on.
It is?
Of course not.
You're beginning to make me very nervous.
Italy is an occupied country, but that money wasn't worth one good American nickel.
If I thought you were telling me the truth...
Have I ever lied to you?
Yes. Yes, but always with such charm, Mr. X.
Are they asleep by now?
Oh, yes. I heard Tina say that they would take Antonelli across the German lines just before dawn.
You have no sentiment, Egon. Think of that poor old man locked up.
For $500, I could reap buckets and at the same time cut those ropes.
200.
5.
Either my price or I sit here and starve. Which will it be?
Naturally, I cannot let you die. It's a deal.
No, it is no use unless I can get to Antonelli's room.
By the merest chance, I have a key to the room for 50 more.
No, 200 net.
What can I do? My heart will not allow me to permit you to be eaten by those rats. Wait, I cut you free.
Ah, you have a noble soul, Egon. Sometimes.
It's amazing how money will make me as soft as putty. Huh? There you are, free now, and here is the key.
Thank you. Now, come with me upstairs to Antonelli.
I'm sorry, Mr. Thurston. I must refuse. I'm really quite tired. I've had enough and made enough for one day. And so, Mr. X, we come now to the parting of the ways. I go back to town, and you go to the...
Yes, that's probably right, Egon. Signor Antonelli.
Who are you? I don't know you. Go away. I don't know you.
Please try to understand what I'm saying. It's very important. I've come to take you away. Away from those women.
I don't know you. I don't.
Yes, I know all that. How can I make you understand? I'll take you to a hospital. I'll take care of you. You'll be well again. Oh, stop humming and listen to me.
I do not know you. I do not know you. I do not.
My name is Ken Thurston.
Go away. You want to hurt me like the women hurt me.
No. I'm a friend of Bill Nesbitt. And a friend of yours.
Now, I believe you.
Great Scott.
But I had to make sure. Thank heaven you've come.
You mean you've been?
It was the only way to keep those women from finding anything out.
So you pretended to be out of your mind?
Yes, I fooled them completely. Now, how is my friend, Bill Nesbitt?
He's dead.
Dead?
Yes, murdered. Poisoned by your niece, Tina.
She is not my niece. She and the other one are agents of the Gestapo.
I thought so. But why did they kill Nesbitt?
He wanted me to sell to his company my brother's formula.
Your brother?
Yes, before the war, my brother was one of the great chemists of Europe.
Oh, so that was it. What happened to your brother?
He was killed by the Nazis.
You say he had a formula that Bill Nesbitt wanted?
Yes, for a new type of synthetic.
What synthetic?
Well, I really don't know. I'm a musician. I know nothing of science. But my brother handed the formula to me to keep for the day when Italy would be free.
Did the women get the formula from you?
No. They tried to get it. Day after day. Day after day. But I fooled them.
Good work, Signor Antonelli. Have you got it with you?
Yes.
Where is it?
In this room.
So you hid it. Where? Oh, no, good heavens, Signor Antonelli. This is no time to...
That's it. That's the formula.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
When a musician plays the tune in the key of E, using B flat as the code for the letter A.
I see. A musical code.
Exactly. Played and varied 5 times. Only I know the variations. When it's decoded, the entire formula is spelled out.
And you've kept it in your mind all this time?
Yes, I assure you it has been nerve-wracking to hum that same tune over and over, but I had to do it so I wouldn't forget.
Not quite so fast there, Mr. X.
Good evening, ladies. Or shall I say good morning?
This is no time for your cheap American wit, Senor Thurston. My daughter is a very good shot. I would advise you to stand quite still.
What are you going to do with me?
It's all right, Antonelli. We are taking you to Berlin.
They will beat me in Berlin. Don't beat me again.
Shut up, you fool.
So you're taking him to Germany?
Yes. We have doctors there who can make that idiotic mind of his spill out its secrets.
Keep still, you dithering lunatic.
Let him alone, Mother. He is harmless.
I cannot stand that humming over and over again. If he does not stop humming, I'll gag him.
Don't hurt me. I'm just an old man who hates the fascism.
Take your hands off of me!
Smart work, Antonelli. Hold up.
No, you don't, you little witch.
Let me go.
Get the gun, Antonelli.
I have it, Mr. X.
Fine. Don't move, ladies.
Shall I shoot them? Both of them?
What is this? I don't understand.
It's very simple. Signor Antonelli is not the fool you presumed him to be.
He is not insane.
No, senor. It is you and your daughter, and people like you who are the insane ones. But now I think I shall do with you what they do with all mad dogs.
Mother, I am afraid.
Do not let him kill us, Senor Thurston.
It will be a pleasure to destroy you both.
No, Signor Antonelli. Let's not use their tactics. There will be judges for them. Judges made up of your own people.
Hold up your hands, lady. Oh. You've caught them, Mr. X.
I'm afraid your heroics have come a little late, Agar.
Oh. Is there anything I can do?
I'm afraid not. Go to sleep now.
Did you find out why they wanted this old man?
Naturally.
Why?
Signor Antonelli had a formula.
Tell me, Mr. X, what was it, huh?
If the first note stood for chlorine, and the next three notes stood for oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen.
Yes. What would it all mean?
Wouldn't you like to know? So ends tonight's Globe Theater production of The Man Called X. I know you'll join me in thanking Bernie Schoenfeld for his excellent script, Felix Mills for composing and conducting the score, and Bill Robeson, who presided in the control room. By the way, the role of Agar was played by Hans Conried as a farewell gesture to an active life in radio theaters and as a prelude to an even more active life in theaters of a different nature. Mr. Conried, I might add, relinquished the finest head of hair in the Western Hemisphere to become Private Conried, his Army serial number escaping me for the moment. Watch out for him. If his performance as Agon is any indication, he'll be a slippery man to deal with on the evening of payday. By the way, it really was fun to play the role of Ken Thurston for you, and I trust you enjoyed the adventures of A Man Called X. As for the next performance from the Globe, you'll hear Walter Abel, Louise Alberton, Ralph Bellamy, and David Bruce in a neat little thriller called Phantom Lady. Here's a short preview.
That hit him hard. I could tell by the way he looked, by the way he watched me all night as I sat there at the bar just staring at him, never saying another word. And when he left at closing time, I followed him. He managed to walk rather slowly at first, almost defiantly, as if he didn't care. And then he went a little faster, and faster, and faster until he was almost running. And then suddenly he stopped and turned.
What do you want? Why do you keep on following me?
You have something to tell me.
You're wasting your time.
You know what's going to happen to him. You can prevent it. Get it off your conscience.
Don't ask me. Go ask the guy to give it to me.
Gave you what?
Nothing.
It was money, wasn't it? Somebody gave you a bribe.
I ain't talking, I tell you, and I ain't staying around here either. I'm going to get so far away from here.
Look out!
It's going to be a good show, and I know you'll want to hear it. So, jot down on the inside of your helmet liner that you have an appointment at the Globe Theater with Phantom Lady, starring Walter Abel, Louise Alberton, Ralph Bellamy, and David Bruce. I'll be on hand to show you your seat and take care of the introductions. Till next performance, then, this is Herbert Marshall wishing you all the best, and I'll be seeing you.
You have been listening to the Globe Theater with Herbert Marshall as host and master of ceremonies. The Globe Theater is presented for servicemen and women of the Allied Armed Forces all over the globe. Listen for our next Globe Theater production soon.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Subscribe for more videos.
Secret Agent K7 returns.
America's number one adventurer, K7, former United States secret agent who operated in 22 countries, on land, on sea, and in the air, brings you another story of today. Here is K7.
Ladies and gentlemen, during last year, newspapers printed many stories of border violations. The world was nervous. Boundaries between countries were closely guarded, and each violation brought new diplomatic protests. It is the story of border violations engineered by international troublemakers that I bring to you now. My old friend John Holbrook will introduce the story.
Thank you, K7. Agent Z, one of K7's former associates, was one of the few who knew the real story behind border violations. He knew that many of these acts were unintentional, but that others were deliberately planned by international crooks and spies who were making large fortunes selling information to the rearming nations. It was a trick to keep world tension high, and Z knew that the offenders must be captured. When he had gathered the information he needed to act, he called on his friend, Patricia Norwood.
I'm going to ask you to help me, Pat. Now look at this newspaper. You'll find a story about border violations on the front page.
Oh, yes, I've just been reading it.
Good. Now I'll tell you the real facts. Pat, the majority of those so-called international incidents are a part of a deliberate plot.
A plot, Z? Do you mean that?
I've gathered as much information as I could, Pat. And now I'm going after the crooks. I want you to go with me.
Well, how are they working?
Well, one man, I'm not sure of his identity, has a private airplane hidden somewhere. He's painted the insignia of one country on the underside of the wing.
So that it will be easily identified when he flies over the other.
Yep, that's right. Each night he flies across the border, drops low with propaganda so that he'll be seen, and then he returns to his own flying field. The smaller country enters a diplomatic protest. The result is world unrest, a threat of war.
And I suppose this crook is selling information.
Exactly. Now, he's got to be captured, Pat. I need your help again. Will you come with me?
No, I will, Z. When do we start?
Tonight. My plane is waiting at the airport, and there's no time to lose.
Z laid his plans carefully. From diplomatic sources, he secured permission from both countries involved to fly over the border. The orders went out by radio.
Permission is hereby granted to Agent Z for flights over the border. Night flights over such territory will be at his own risk, since border guards have orders to shoot down violators.
Night flights at Z's own risk. Z immediately established headquarters at a small field near the disputed border. 2 nights after his talk with Pat, the two had their equipment set up and were ready. They waited on the darkened airfield.
Well, Pat, we're ready. Have you ever operated a radio direction finder?
No, but I think I know how.
You'll manage. Now, let's go over our plans again. As soon as the airplane that's violating the border is heard, I'll take off. When the pilot sees my plane in the air, he'll probably turn and head for his home field as fast as possible. I'll try to follow it.
Well, I hope you're successful, Z. Be sure and fly high over the border. The guards might shoot you down.
No, I won't take any unnecessary chances. Now, while I'm in the air, I'll keep in constant touch with you by radio.
Yes, I know how to work the transmitter at this end.
Now, your biggest job will be to keep the direction finder trained on me at all times. And that'll tell you which way I'm flying. South, southeast, southwest. And then if I should lose the other plane up there in the darkness, we'd at least know in which direction his field lies.
And by computing the speed of your plane, you could tell approximately how far from here the field is.
That's it, Pat. Knowing the direction and the approximate distance from this field, we should be able to locate it, even if he gets away from me tonight.
Z, listen.
Yep, he's up there, Pat. I'm going to take off. Remember what you have to do. If all goes well, I'll see you in an hour or two. Tune in your radio as soon as I'm in the air.
I will. Be careful, Z. I'd better turn the radio on. Hello? Hello? 147R calling plane 291R. 147R calling plane 291R. Can you hear me, Z?
Hello, Pat. 291R, calling 147R. Radio working perfectly. Come in.
I can hear you, Z. I've got the direction finder working.
Keep it trained on me, Pat. I'm gaining altitude. I'm over the other plane now. I don't think the other pilot has seen me. Yes, he has seen me, Pat. He's turning back. He's headed toward the border. I'm behind him and above him. Keep your direction finder on me.
I have it on you, Z. You're headed directly south. Do you hear me? You're headed directly south.
The plane that's been violating the border has increased its speed, Pat. There's no doubt that he's seen me. We've been spotted from the ground, too. The border is directly under us. The border guards are using anti-aircraft guns. They're puffs of white smoke as the shells explode around us.
Z, be careful. Go higher.
We're over the border now. I don't believe either plane was hit. The border violator's still directly ahead of me. Are you watching the direction finder?
Yes. You're still headed directly south. Z, come in. Z, can you hear me? 147R calling plane 291R. Come in. I've lost you.
Pat, I'm afraid I'm in trouble. My motor is missing. Wait, it's better again now. Watch direction finder.
Keep talking, Z.
My motor is missing badly, Pat. The other plane is gaining on me. I'm losing speed.
Z, turn and come back. Come back.
I've just discovered the trouble. My gasoline tank was hit as I flew over the border. The gasoline has leaked away. I've got to go down.
Z, keep talking.
Nearly down, Pat. Nearly down. Dropping flares for a forced landing. There's a beat.
Hello, Z. Z, can you hear me? Z, come in. 147R calling plane 291R. Come in.
Z's radio was silent, his fate unknown. Pat waited until the following afternoon for some word from him. Then she wirelessed M's old friend, K7. He advised her to notify the authorities of both countries and to charter a plane, cross the border, and make a close survey of the countryside from the air.
Fly lower, pilot. I thought I saw something.
Yes, miss.
No, it's nothing, I guess. I don't understand why we haven't seen a plane on the ground. Oh, if only K7 were here.
Your friend Z must have landed safely.
Well, I was thinking of that. If he'd crashed, we would have sighted the wreck. Or there would have been a report. How far behind the border are we now?
About 55 miles, directly south.
Well, Z couldn't have been that far. We'd better turn. Wait, do you see anything in that tall tree below us?
Well, yes. Yes, it's a long piece of cloth.
And it looks as if it was tied to the top of the tree.
That's right, miss.
Now, look down over our left wing. There's a second cloth streamer tied to that tree down there.
Yes, I see it.
And that field beneath is smooth, large enough for a plane to take off.
Yes, plenty big enough.
And there's a barn, too. It might be a secret hangar. Those rags tied to the tops of the two trees would show the direction of the wind so that a plane could land.
It might be a private field, miss. You want to go down?
We're 55 miles from the border. Just far enough. That may be the field the plane that violates the border takes off from each night. How far is the next airport, pilot?
About 5 miles.
We'll head for it at once. I'm going to land. And tonight I'm coming back here on foot and look this field over.
That night, Pat made her way back to the field she had sighted from the air. Was it the one used by the international crooks? If so, it was ideally located. The countryside was almost complete wilderness. As she crept to the edge of the field under cover of darkness, she saw lights. Then an airplane motor was started. 2 men were near the plane. They turned and went back into the barn that served as a hangar. Pat made up her mind quickly. She ran to the plane, climbed in, and concealed herself behind the pilot's seat. Shortly after, the 2 men returned.
You'll have no trouble tonight, Niger.
Found out what happened to the pilot who followed me last night?
Yes, it was Special Agent Z.
He reached the ground safely?
Yes. Now he's in prison.
Prison? How could that be?
The civil authorities saw the flares which he dropped.
They were waiting for him when he reached the ground.
They will let him go free as soon as they find out who he is.
That has been arranged. I told you that I had friends. The authorities believe that he is one of us. They have been told that his credentials are forgeries. He'll be in prison for a long time if he's not shot as a spy.
That is good. The special agent is in prison as a spy.
Before he can get out, there'll be war. Now, we will start. Get in. Tonight, I go with you. We'll fly over every city and drop leaflets. What is in them will make the people think. Get in. Remember, I am with you. Fly high over the border. Take no chances. I'm ready. Take off.
Very well.
Go up higher. You're too near the trees.
It will take a minute. The tail seems heavy. It is the extra gasoline, and because you are with me.
Pat held her breath as she crouched in the darkness behind the two crooks. She waited until she was sure the plane was over the border. Then, cautiously, she crawled to the space under the wing. The gasoline tanks were there. She turned a valve. It was a desperate chance.
What is the trouble? The motor is missing.
I don't know, Nadoc. We have plenty of gasoline.
Oh.
Hang on. We've got to land. It will be hard. The plane is heavy tonight. It doesn't...
There's an airfield below. As soon as we are on the ground, run. We must not be caught.
I can see the ground. Perhaps it will be all right.
The city is to our right. I have friends there.
Hang on. We're going to hit.
Jump. We've been seen. There are men coming.
Stay in the plane. If either of you attempt to get out, I'll have to shoot.
Who are you? What are you doing in this plane?
It makes little difference who I am, gentlemen.
Huh?
Don't try to move.
Nadoc, they have turned on the airport lights.
Yeah?
There are men running towards us.
Jump to the ground. I'll take care of this girl.
You do, I'll...
Stay in your plane. They're surrounded, men.
Z, is that you?
Pat, say, how did you get there? Who are these men?
Z, keep them covered. These are the border violators, and this one, Nadoc, is head of the ring.
Nadoc? Well, I've heard about you from K7. Pat, this man tried to have me put in prison. K7 freed me. You've captured one of the world's most daring international crooks.
Nadoc and Nizer were arrested. Under questioning, they revealed the names of the others in the plot. Z rounded them up and sent them to prison. Within a week, diplomatic tension had lessened. Once again, Z had served the cause of peace. Listen for my next story. This is K7 speaking.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Baghdad, Martinique, Singapore, and all the places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another dangerous assignment. The National Broadcasting Company presents the first in an exciting new adventure series, Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Steve. You're going to run this pretty little boat right onto the rocks if you don't put your hands on the wheel.
Automatic pilot.
W5, WRS, calling W2BYR. I should have known you'd have one of those on your boat.
So help me. First time in my life I've ever used it, Evelyn.
Eloise.
Hello, sure.
W5, WRS, calling W2BYR. Steve. Why don't you turn that radio off?
I never should have turned it on.
What's all that W stuff? Who's that silly woman trying to get, anyway?
Oh,
W5,
me.
WRS, calling W2BYR.
That's the ship-to-shore operator.
Brother, you know them all. What does she want with you?
I'm afraid I know. Well, I guess I better answer before they send the Coast Guard. W5WRS from W2BYR. Go ahead.
Stand by, W2BYR. I have a call for you. Go ahead. This is Ruth, Steve. The commissioner wants to see you right away. Over.
Now, look, Ruth. I said only call me in an emergency. Over.
The commissioner says this is an emergency. Over.
But I'm in the middle of a big deal, Ruth. I'm tied up. Over.
Just a minute, Steve. He says untie her and get into the office.
But tell him... Oh, okay. I'll come back. Out. Eloise, I'm afraid
And
we'll...
for this, I broke another day.
Now, look, Eloise, I'm sorry.
So what do? I go out and buy a new sunsuit.
And it's a very nice sunsuit.
I even fry some chicken. For the first time in my life, I fry some chicken.
But this probably won't take long.
And what am I supposed to do in the meantime? And what am I going to do with all that fried chicken?
Well, keep it on ice for me, huh? Hello, Commissioner.
Steve, I trust you concluded your big deal satisfactorily.
Well, I...
Steve, ever hear of the Throp Foundation?
Throp Foundation? Sure. That's the private charity that's been sending a lot of relief shipments to Europe.
Right. They've done quite a job over there. Tons of food and medical supplies.
Yeah, that's the outfit. What about them?
Their last 3 shipments to Sicily have been stolen.
Oh? You mean off the boat?
No, from the Foundation's warehouse in Messina, Sicily.
I see.
We've been instructed to get to the bottom of it. As usual, you'll pose as a foreign correspondent. Ruth has your credentials in order.
Okay.
On the surface, your assignment will be to write a story about the stolen shipments. Actually, I want you to find out who's been stealing those shipments. And to be frank, Steve, I'm sending you into a pretty nasty situation over there.
What do you mean?
The Throp Foundation has had 2 men working on this case. One of them has been missing for 2 weeks.
What about the other one?
Oh, they found him all right. His throat had been cut.
Well, that's reassuring.
We're sending you because we think you can take care of yourself and handle the danger.
When do you want me to leave?
Good. As soon as possible. Now, if you need help or information once you get to Sicily, contact Emilio Donati in Messina.
Who's Emilio Donati?
He runs a bar in Messina. We think he's a friend of ours.
Okay.
There's just one more thing I should warn you about, Steve.
You know, you're making this assignment sound real attractive, Commissioner. What is it?
I guess you've heard of the Sicilian bandit they call Lorenzo.
Yeah, who hasn't? He's got the whole countryside terrorized.
Steve, I don't know whether he has anything to do with all this or not, but if he has, watch yourself.
Yep. Looks like I got a real honey this time.
You did, but it's vital to us that those relief shipments get through. Trouble usually starts from empty stomachs.
Yeah.
That's all. You've got your assignment, Steve. Your plane leaves in 2 hours. Good luck.
Eduardo, this is Dino speaking. The American just landed. See. Report it to the chief at once.
Signore, taxi, eh? You want a taxi, signore?
Yeah. Hey, look, driver, you know your way around Messina pretty well, huh?
Ma, sure. I live here most of my life, signore. At the age of 3, I was brought here from Palermo. So I know every house, every street, every building, every bar.
Yeah. Okay, so you know your city. Now, take me to the Throp Foundation warehouse.
Again?
Throp Foundation warehouse. You know where it is?
Throp?
No. Throp. It's a... Ah, well, never mind. Just take me to the Rienzi Hotel. I'm sure you must have heard of that.
Ma, sure. I'm going to put your baggage in the car, senor.
Hello. Sorry I'm late.
You're not late. You're just in time.
I heard you inquiring for the Throp Foundation, so you must be Ralph Gillette. I'm Helen Collier. I was supposed to meet you here at the airport, and
Look, I'm afraid there's been a mistake. My name's not Gillette. It's Mitchell. Steve Mitchell.
I thought you were the one I was supposed to meet. I'm sorry.
Believe me, I'm sorry, too. Couldn't we just pretend I was?
I'm afraid Mr. Archer wouldn't understand.
Already I don't like Mr. Archer. Don't even know him. Who is he?
My boss. He's in charge of the foundation's office here in Messina.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you work for the Throp Foundation?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Archer's been expecting a new man to fly down from Rome, Mr. Gillette. I thought you were he.
Oh. I wonder if you'd tell me where the foundation office is. I'm a foreign correspondent, and I'd like an interview with your boss.
Oh, well, I could go with you and show you where it is, because it doesn't look like Mr. Gillette is on the plane anyway.
Fine. I have a cab over here.
You say you're a foreign correspondent. I suppose you want to do a story on the stolen relief shipments.
Yep.
Well, good luck. Mr. Archer doesn't want any publicity about it. Thinks it would have an adverse effect on donations from the States.
Oh, well, here we are. Pardon us, gentlemen.
Si, signor. Eduardo, out of the man's way.
Of course, your pardon, senor.
Well, I'll see if I can get some kind of a statement from him. Are there just the two of you in the Messina office?
Yes, right now. There were 3 of us. Paul Wainwright was the 3rd, but he got fired a few days ago.
At the Hotel Rienzi, no?
No. Throp Foundation.
Troppa?
Troppa? Oh, Via Delgada.
Oh, si, signorina.
Hey, you must have the magic touch. This Paul Wainwright, he was fired by Mr. Archer?
Yes, 3 days ago.
Senor, you ready, huh?
Si.
Did you hear what the signorina told the driver?
Si, Eduardo. Via Delgada. That is the address of the Throp Foundation. I will report it. You follow the American.
Mr. Mitchell, you must understand my position. It's not that I don't want to cooperate with you and your press association, but at the same...
The stolen shipments are news, Mr. Archer, and news is my job.
Well, I know all that, but just stop and think what's going to happen if the news spreads around back in the States. Our donations would probably stop coming in. We think it's vital that these shipments continue.
I see. Well, in that case, could you give me an off-the-record statement about it?
I might, if I were sure it would be treated as such.
I'll make a deal with you. We won't break the story unless or until the thieves are rounded up.
Well, all right. I guess that's fair enough.
There have been 3 shipments stolen, right?
Yes, from our warehouse. It's right downstairs.
Yes, I noticed it as I came up. Did you have anyone guarding the shipments?
Of course, we kept doubling the guard, but each time they were overpowered.
Sounds like the thieves have a pretty large outfit.
Yes, apparently they do.
I suppose you've heard of the bandit they call Lorenzo.
Oh, certainly. Everybody in Sicily's heard of him. He's got the whole country terrorized.
He's supposed to have a hideout up in the mountains.
I know what you're thinking, Mr. Mitchell. That Lorenzo's men could have stolen the shipments. I thought of that right away myself.
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
Yes, it's possible. Personally, I don't think Lorenzo had anything to do with it. With Lorenzo's reputation what it is, it would be relatively easy for someone else to make it look as if Lorenzo had done it.
That's an interesting thought. Incidentally, you fired one of your men a few days ago, didn't you? Paul Wainwright?
That is something that I'd rather not discuss.
Oh?
Of course, I don't want to persecute the man just because some of his actions appeared vaguely suspicious to me. I have no proof of anything at all.
I see. Well, thanks for the information. I'll see you later.
You wish a table, senor?
Oh, yeah. Please.
Right here.
Thanks.
I am Carlotta. What will you have?
Beer.
But it is after dark. It's time to drink wine.
Emily Post may not like it, but I still want beer.
Anything you wish. I will bring it.
Look, is the boss in, Carlotta?
Emilio Donati? See, he's here. Why?
I like the scenery. I might set up a charge account. Where is he?
The fat one. Over at the bar. I will tell him to come over.
Oh, no, never mind. I'll go over there.
See, I'm coming.
Emilio Donati?
So I am called, senor.
I told a friend of mine in the States I'd say hello to you.
So? I know many people in the States, senor.
I'm pretty sure you'll know my friend, the commissioner.
Commissioner?
Yeah. I think you're expecting me. I'm Steve Mitchell.
A name can be used by anyone, senor.
Here. You recognize the handwriting?
Ah, see. You are Steve Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can I help?
I'm working on the theft of the relief shipments.
Yeah, I thought that would be it. That's a very bad thing, Steve. There are so many people are hungry here in Sicily.
Yeah. Look, a fellow named Paul Wainwright was fired from the Throp Foundation a few days ago, and Archer acts like he thinks Wainwright's involved in the theft.
Paul Wainwright. I know who he is.
I'd like to talk to him. Can you arrange it?
See, in an hour or two, I will send the word for him to come to the back room of my bar off the alley. We can talk to him there.
Quarter after 11. Wainwright ought to be showing up pretty soon, hadn't he?
See, he should have been here by now, Steve.
There's another lead I want to run down, too, Emilio.
Hmm?
Do you have any idea where the bandit Lorenzo's headquarters are?
Oh, see, in the mountains to the west over here.
Think you could furnish me a guide?
A guide?
Yeah, just to get me into the general area. After that, I'll go it alone and do a little reconnoitering undercover.
Steve, you must not try a thing like that.
Look, it's the quickest way of proving whether Lorenzo's involved in these thefts or not. If he is, he's probably got a lot of the supplies hidden away in those mountains.
His men would capture you. He has lookouts all over the mountains. Well, just last month, an entire division went up there and...
Sure. That's the point. There were so many Lorenzo's men spotted them easy. But one man alone in the brush could be hard to find.
Steve, Lorenzo has a small army of cutthroats up there. They are fanatically loyal to him.
Could you get me a guide?
Look, the danger. You must realize the danger.
Yeah. Lorenzo isn't stupid enough to kill an American correspondent.
That must be Paul Wainwright. Oh, come in, Senor Wainwright.
No, thanks. Look, Donati, and you too, whatever your name is. There's a waste of time. We've got nothing to talk about. Oh!
Wainwright.
Knife in the bag. Emilio, get out of the light. Get down. Someone's running down the alley.
Don't follow him, Steve.
Huh?
It may be a trap. There may be others waiting in the dark.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wainwright, see...
He's dead, Steve. Now perhaps you realize that there's a real danger here for you. They know you are not a correspondent. Do you still wish a guide?
I'll be waiting in room 23, Rienzi Hotel.
All right. I will send a man over. Signor Mitchell?
Yeah. Who are you?
Casella.
Casella? That's supposed to mean something to me?
Emilio Donati sent me to you.
Oh, you're the guide.
Si, signor. I am to conduct you to the mountain where Lorenzo and his band are hiding.
Oh, Emilio didn't lose any time, did he?
It was thought best to travel at night, so that we may be in the mountains before the sun comes up.
Yeah, I guess that would be best.
We will drive to the foot of the mountains by car. Then we'll use horses on the trails. It is all arranged.
Good. When do you want to start?
As soon as possible.
Okay, let's go. Hey, pretty narrow trail up here, Casella.
Si, signor.
About time for sunrise, isn't it?
But a few more minutes and it will be light.
You say, you think Lorenzo's hiding out somewhere on that mountain up there ahead of us?
Si, that is what I have heard.
Okay, let's stop here a minute. I'll go it alone from here, Casella. There's no point in your going any farther. Thanks very much.
Si, signor. You're right. There is no point in going any farther. Put your hands in front of you.
What?
Do as I say, signor. I am going to tie your hands.
Look, what is this anyway? Hey, wait a minute. You're one of Lorenzo's men.
So true, signor. It will do you no good to resist. Do not try to escape. There's a man blocking your trail. See? He has a gun.
Okay, I'll try it through you.
Stop!
Come on.
Stop!
I'm coming through.
Eduardo, quick! Come and help me! Eduardo, help!
Okay, Casella. That's for the double cross, Bub.
Senor, I have a gun. I said stop.
Okay. Looks like you win.
Good. Now I tie you. Hold your hands up.
Okay. Here's one of them.
All right, senor. I will use the gun this way. So, Senor Mitchell. Casella, are you all right?
See, I think so. Except my nose. It is bleeding.
Fool, you deserve it. Come, we'll take the American to Lorenzo.
He's coming to Eduardo. Go tell Lorenzo.
See?
Oh. Casella.
See, Casella. This is for the bloody nose you gave me, senor.
Well, thanks. Looks like I got taken for the well-known ride. I thought Emilio Donato was a friend.
Sometimes it is difficult to know who your friends are.
You're so right.
Here is Lorenzo now.
Well, Senor Mitchell, you're feeling better now, huh?
Not much.
Welcome to my camp.
Thanks. So you're Lorenzo?
See, I have that honor.
Honor?
Of course.
Where are we?
Walk with me and I will show you. As you see, you're on top of a mountain. This is my headquarters.
Hey, you can see 100 miles from here.
See, this is why I choose this place.
But where are the guards?
Guards? You are not my prisoner. You are my guest. But see below us, my men are camped there. Is it not a reassuring sight?
Hey, that looks like a small army.
120 patriots.
Patriots, you call them?
Of course, they serve Lorenzo.
Got a pretty good opinion of yourself, huh?
I am one of the most brilliant men I have ever met.
Really? You know, you don't talk like you've spent your whole life in these mountains.
Oh, I have, as you say, been around. I attended a university in Italy for 2 years.
But you came back to this. How come?
A sense of duty, senor. I rob the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah? That sounds pretty, Lorenzo. But are you sure it's not just because you're a thief at heart?
You are shrewd, senor. Well, why not? From my experience in the world, I have learned that one must look out for oneself.
Oh?
Consider the recent war. Nobody won it. Consider the peace. Again, nobody wins it. Everyone quarrels and fights. Now, is it not much more clever to take what one wants, to be concerned only with oneself?
You know, your kind of thinking isn't helping things any.
Perhaps not, but it is profitable to me. Senor, this conversation is pleasant, but I still do not understand why you were so anxious to spy on my camp.
No? You ever hear of the Throp Foundation?
No. What is it, senor?
A relief outfit that's been shipping food and medical supplies here to Sicily.
Oh? Does this concern me?
That's what I'm wondering. At least 3 shipments have been stolen from a warehouse in Messina.
And of course you think that I stole them.
It's a pretty good bet.
Well, I am sorry to disappoint you, senor, but as you see, there are no supplies here. Look around you. I have nothing to hide.
No?
It is my fate, senor. Whenever a crime is committed in Sicily, I am immediately accused. I suppose I should feel flattered. It has often occurred to me that the police must find me very convenient.
How so?
It would be most embarrassing for them if I were captured. Then they would have no one to blame for all their unsolved crimes. Well, I'm sorry you made this trip for nothing, senor.
Well, if you've got nothing to hide, how come you went to so much trouble to capture me?
I was told you wanted to see Lorenzo, so I thought I would make it easy. You were very rough with my men, senor. But no matter. We will be friends. And you will go back to America and tell everyone what a gracious host is Lorenzo.
Oh, you want a press agent, huh? Hey, wait a minute.
What?
That girl coming up the trail. She looks awfully familiar.
Oh, her name is Carlotta.
Yeah, now I recognize her. She works at Emilio Donati's bar.
See.
Everything's starting to add up.
I am afraid Carlotta is not very happy with me at present.
No?
She has been very useful to me in the past, but she is so possessive. She is very upset to learn that there had been another woman here. There, you see how she sulks? I believe she thinks that she is punishing me. Ah, Carlotta, my dear.
Speak to me, Lorenzo. Do not speak to me.
You climbed up here to tell me that.
I am true with you. You have not been true to me.
Oh, you are not very flattering, my dear. Of course I have not been true to you. That would be to deprive others.
Oh, so good for nothing, you.
I think I'd better leave you here to take out your temper on the American. I have other affairs to look after.
Beast. I lie for him. I steal for him.
Maybe you ought to pick your friends a little more carefully. So, you're the one that put the bee on me at Donati's, huh? You had Lorenzo send that phony guide to my room.
Treat me this way after all I do for him. Oh, the beast. I do not think you would treat me that way.
Huh?
I think if you were my friend, you would treat me nice.
Now, look.
Would you like to be Carlotta's friend?
It's okay with me if you're trying to make Lorenzo jealous, but use somebody else.
Kiss me.
Hey, cut it out.
Come on, kiss me.
Hey.
You like it?
Well, under other circumstances, maybe. Right now, no.
You should not have done that, Carlotta.
Lorenzo,
Perhaps
look.
that will show you cannot treat me as you have. If you do not want me, there are others who do.
You are such a child, Carlotta. I am afraid this presents a problem.
Look, there's no problem. I've got no interest in Carlotta, believe me.
Oh, I'm aware of that. But some of my men there below may have seen her kiss you, senor, and that is the problem. I must not allow anything to shake their confidence in me. The appearance is everything. No, it is not Carlotta I am thinking about. She is nothing.
Oh, dog, that you should talk about me like that. What if I were to tell the American about...
Shut up, Carlotta.
Wait a minute. What did you say, Carlotta?
Then you would wish you had not treated me that way.
I told you to keep your mouth shut.
Oh. I will tell.
Carlotta!
On the other side of the mountain is a cave. Lorenzo has hidden the relief shipments there.
Well, Lorenzo. So you've got nothing to hide.
Now, indeed, I have no choice, senor. Carlotta, give me your scarf.
You're going to fight with the knives over me.
Fool! To think it is you I am considering.
Hey, look, let's consider me for a minute.
I did not intend to kill you, senor, but as you see now, I must. Here, take this knife.
Now, wait a minute.
Put the end of the scarf between your teeth.
Huh?
There, as I do the other end.
Oh,
so, now we circle slowly.
Hey, look, let's cow this foolishness, will you?
Do not hold the knife that way.
Huh?
Use the underhand grip. Do you know nothing at all about knife fighting?
As much as I want to know. Not for the last time.
I am sorry. Defend yourself.
Okay, you asked for it.
You twist the knife from my hand.
Yeah. You may know knife fighting, but you're pretty sad on judo.
Oh, Lorenzo! You've killed Lorenzo.
Just a rabbit punch, lady. Won't even leave a scar. So long.
Dog of a dog. Oh, God. Carissimo.
Oh.
He has killed you. Oh, Lorenzo. Lorenzo.
Will you stop that silly babbling?
Lorenzo, you are all right.
See, except the back of my neck.
I will tell your men to go after him.
No, this is a personal matter. They might find it hard to understand how the American escaped from me. I will go after him alone.
I will go with you.
You will wait here, Carlotta. I will attend to you when I return.
Lorenzo.
I may be gone until dark, because if I do not find the American, then there is someone in Messina I must talk to. Now get me my horse.
Oh, boy, my wind is shot. Maybe it's the altitude. Whew. Hey, horse. Ahead of me somewhere. I better play it safe. Hey, Donati!
What?
Over here, Emilio.
Steve Mitchell, you are safe.
Yeah.
I sent a guide to your room the first thing this morning. He said you were gone.
Yeah, one of Lorenzo's men got there first. Your waiter, Carlotta, tipped them off about me.
Carlotta?
Yeah. Think that horse of yours can carry both of us?
Lorenzo's men, they will be after you.
Yeah, that's a good reason for not hanging around here any longer.
All right, come. I'm going to help you up. Wait, listen. My horse is coming.
Come on, get your horse into the brush here. Cover up his nose so he won't whinny.
Steve, it's Lorenzo. He's alone.
Yeah, heading towards Messina, too.
Look, I have a gun. We can capture him.
No, not yet, Emilio. Come on, we'll give him the lead, then follow him into Messina. It's possible he's got more on his mind than just finding me. If so, I want to know what it is.
Lorenzo.
Senor Arch.
Why, you fool coming here to the Foundation office. My secretary will be back any minute.
The American escaped.
What? How could he?
We will not go into that.
Oh, you stupid fool. You've ruined everything. Mitchell must know all about the stolen shipments now.
See, he knows I stole them, but he does not know that you are involved, Archer.
He might as well. We're through now, Lorenzo. Through. And all because of your stupidity.
Do not talk that way to me, Archer.
I'd planned it so well. Even when Paul Wainwright became suspicious, I fired him. Then I had his mouth shut permanently. And now you ruined it, you blundering half-breed.
You keep your mouth shut. This will help you.
Lorenzo, I'll kill you. This gun is quicker than your knife.
Well, Lorenzo and Archer. The Gold Dust twins.
Mitchell.
Very neat. So you two did work it together, huh?
You're wrong, Mitchell. I've just captured a notorious bandit.
You lying dog. It was you who arranged me.
Get back, Mitchell.
Give me that. That gun's safer with me, Archer.
You've got nothing on me.
You mean because Lorenzo can't talk?
If you want to put it that way.
There's one witness you overlooked, Archer. Carlotta. Yeah. When she finds out you killed Lorenzo, she'll sing plenty, and it's a song you're not going to like.
Well, did you send your report to the commissioner, Steve?
Yeah, I called him. He said the Throp Foundation had sent a new man over to head up the office here.
Well, and now you can relax for a few days. We're going to eat and drink and have a good time. You will have such a food as you never tasted. Scallopini, escarole, a pizza that melts in your mouth.
That sounds fine, Emilio, but I think I'll be heading back to the States.
Now, what's the hurry?
Well, someone back there is keeping some fried chicken on ice for me.
Well, fried chicken?
Yeah. It's got to be eaten on a boat, too.
Steve, I don't understand. What is so special about eating fried chicken on a boat?
Well, you see, she's not the chicken. That is, Oh, well, just take my word for it, huh? So long, Emilio.
Just heard the first in an exciting new adventure series, Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy and written by Bob Wright. This program was directed by Bill Karn with music by Bruce Ashley. Be with us again next week at this same time when Brian Donlevy, as Steve Mitchell, embarks on another Dangerous Assignment. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. How mild can a cigarette be?
One puff won't tell you.
One sniff won't tell you.
It takes day in, day out smoking to find out how mild a cigarette is, how well it agrees with your throat. Make the sensible cigarette test, the thorough test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and see just how mild a cigarette can be.
Here, transcribed, is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was cold out, and it had been raining. When it got a little warmer, it would probably snow. The whole city was covered with a heavy sheet of ice, and the steam heat in my office gurgled and clouded up the windows. I was feeling pretty good. I was warm. I'd had one client in the past week, and my bank account was on its way to recovery, and a good breakfast in the drugstore downstairs had made me comfortable and drowsy. I put my feet up on the desk, leaned back in my chair, and closed my eyes.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond?
I must have been napping and didn't know it. I hadn't heard the door open, but there he stood, framed in the door, resting his weight on the jamb, and looking across the room at me with tired eyes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes, what can I do for you?
My name is Abel Gunther. I want to hire you.
All right, Mr. Gunther. I charge $100 a day in expenses.
I don't think I can pay it. I can pay you some, but I don't think I can pay you that much.
Well, that's my fee for you or a Rockefeller. I got expenses.
I see. Well, I'll keep looking. I need help. Perhaps you could recommend someone?
You'll pardon me for saying so, but you don't look too well, Mr. Gunther.
I'm pretty sick, Mr. Diamond.
Maybe you'd better sit down and tell me what your problem is.
I can't afford the money.
That's all right. Tell me about it anyway.
I think I had better sit down.
Yes, you better. What's wrong? You got the flu or something?
No. I'm afraid it's a little more serious. Would you really like to hear my story?
I think I really would.
I'm a farmer, Mr. Diamond. My home is Haiti, near Saint-Nazaire.
Haiti?
Yes, the West Indies. I was born there, raised there. My parents died when I was 13. I have a wife. She's there now, and she's the main reason I have come here seeking help. My wife is dying, Mr. Diamond. I must get help quickly before it is too late. I have a farm.
He kept talking, telling me about his life on Haiti. He told me about his farm, a fairly good-sized farm by his description. He told me how in the past 2 years things began to go wrong on his farm. And soon all the farms in the area were also having trouble.
The cane fields would burn every year. Then it was the cattle. One by one, they became sick. Then my wife, and now me.
And you don't know what's wrong with either of you, huh?
Yes and no. My Christian religion fights it, but my life on Haiti has taught me deep respect for it.
Respect for what?
Voodoo, Mr. Diamond. Oh, I know just what you're thinking. But a doctor in Haiti has examined my wife and can find nothing wrong.
Well, I don't particularly believe in anything like that, Mr. Gunther. But if you do, why have you come to me?
I said I have a healthy respect for it. I don't entirely believe it, but some of the things I've seen make it difficult to disbelieve. I came to you because I suspect a possibility of something more. Immediately after my wife was taken ill, I received an offer for my farm, a very low offer from a Saint-Nazaire banker. I investigated, found it had been made in the interests of one Arthur Cotswold.
Arthur Cotswold?
Haiti's biggest planter.
Oh. How about the other farmers?
They received offers like mine. Being the oldest farmer, the rest looked to me for guidance. I told them to wait. Then I came here to hire someone to look into the matter.
Would you like some water?
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Anyone else become ill besides you and your wife?
Yes. several others. I have $368 in my ticket home. The money is yours if you will go to Haiti and investigate.
Have you been to a doctor here in New York?
No. Mr. Diamond, here's directions how to get to my farm. My servant, Little Chiva, is there. No one knows I came.
Mr. Gunther. Mr. Gunther!
Levinson Homicide.
Hello, Walt.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah. Better get up to my office. I've got a dead man for you.
Are you kidding?
That's what Gunther told me.
Voodoo?
Voodoo smoodoo. That's what the man said.
Now, steady, boy.
Oh, stop it, Walt. You know I don't believe it.
But you're going down to Haiti.
Well, somebody's got to tell the wife.
The local authorities can do that. Hey.
No, what's the matter?
The local authorities in Haiti. Why didn't Gunther go to them if he thought there was something phony about the setup?
You want an opinion?
If you can strain one out.
Well, Gunther probably didn't go to the Haiti authorities because he knew they'd think just what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm crazy.
Well, Gunther died in my office. He came a long way for help, and the poor guy wanted to give me his last $368. So I'm going to Haiti. I'll send you a zombie. Walt promised to send a wire in care of the authorities in Saint Leger as soon as he got an autopsy report on Mr. Gunther, and I headed for the airline's ticket office. By 8 o'clock that evening, I was in an airline's flagship at 12,000 feet heading for the West Indies and Haiti. The trip wasn't bad. We landed in Miami, where I grabbed a cup of coffee and then climbed aboard a clipper for Port-au-Prince. At Port-au-Prince, I took a bus to Saint Leger, and from there a beaten-up taxi to the Gunther farm about 10 miles into the country. As we neared the farm, I could see a crowd of people standing around in front of the house. And as I climbed out of the cab and approached them, they turned, and their hushed conversations were suddenly stilled. I didn't know what it was. No one said a word. But something was wrong. I could feel it. I walked through the crowd to the house and stopped cold as the door opened.
Who are you?
I'd never seen anything like him. He was a native, and he ducked his head as he stepped out of the door to face me. He was a good 7 feet tall, or maybe more, and must have weighed close to 300. He stood on his bare feet, his long, muscled arms hanging loosely at his sides, and looked at me with dark, shining eyes.
Me, Little Chiva. Who are you?
Oh, me, very little Richard Diamond. Mr. Gunther hired me to come here.
You from New York?
Oh, yes. Mr. Gunther couldn't come back.
He died?
That's right. How did you know?
You come in?
Sure. What are all those people doing out there?
They're friends, Madam. She died too.
Little Chiva led the way into the bedroom where Mrs. Gunther lay on the bed, covered with a fresh white sheet, her eyes closed in death, her face drawn and tired. Little Chiva told me she had died the day before, about 3 in the afternoon, and a cold chill ran up my back. I remembered her husband lying on the floor of my office about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before.
What do you do here?
Mr. Gunther wanted me to find out why the cattle are getting sick, why the fields are burning, why he and his wife became ill.
Bad voodoo.
Well, he thought it might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
He big man.
What are those drums?
For Madam and Mister. They voodoo. Good voodoo. Give blessing for spirit. For Madam and Mister.
Oh. You see, Little Chiva, the Mr. Gunther wanted me to help him. He paid me money to help him and died asking for help. I'm going to try and do what I can.
The Madam and Mr. Good people teach Little Chiva. They take Little Chiva when he's small boy and make good life. You good man, Little Chiva help you.
Right then, I inherited Little Chiva. And if there was going to be any trouble, the giant servant would certainly help to make up the difference. The first thing I wanted to do was contact the local authorities in Saint Leger. Little Cheever told me my man was one Inspector Laplanche.
A very fine person, Mr. Gunther. I'm sorry he's dead.
Well, how'd everybody know he was dead?
On Haiti, things of such nature are never a secret. The natives know.
Voodoo?
Being a stranger to Haiti, Mr. Diamond, I expect you to be a skeptic.
But you believe in voodoo?
Let us say I've been in Haiti too long not to believe.
Well, Gunther thought the whole thing might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
I would suggest you forget Mr. Cotswold.
Then I suggest you give me a good reason to forget him.
Mr. Cotswold is a very big man on Haiti, the largest plantation owner on the West Indies, and a self-made man with a considerable temper.
Well, thanks for the advice, Inspector. But supposing I come up with something incriminating.
If Mr. Cotswold has breached the law, it would certainly be my duty to arrest him. But I am not considering the arrest. More, the necessary steps that would have to be taken to prove the guilt. Dangerous steps, Mr. Diamond. One might trip on those steps.
And break his neck.
Yes.
You like the middle of the road, huh?
It is much easier to see what is ahead.
It's possible to get run down from behind.
I do as much as I can to prevent that possibility. Example, my suggestion, you forget Mr. Cotswold.
I left the philosophical inspector and went outside where little Cheever had been waiting. Every time I looked at Cheever, it was like a little kid spotting the Empire State for the first time. He smiled a mouthful of white teeth as he said,
"The inspector, he say forget Mr. Cotswold."
"That's right. What do you think, little Cheever?"
"I think I do what you want."
"You know what I want?"
"You want go see Cotswold."
Think I'm crazy?"
"You're not afraid. You're not strong like little Cheever. But little Cheever think of all the men he know, you would fight hardest."
"I don't like to fight, little Cheever."
"Little Cheever know that. We go see Cotswold."
Little Cheever led the way up a long, narrow road surrounded on both sides by high sugarcane fields. Somewhere from not too far away, I heard the drums start again. Little Cheever stopped, looked off to the north. He began moving his shoulders, slowly, keeping time to the steady rhythm of the drums. He began to sing softly.
"Oh, hey, say Papa Nuki Papase. Oh, hey, say Papa Nuki Papase."
What does that mean, little Cheever?
"It means in your language, it is our Papa who passes."
"Papa?"
"Papa Damballa, the great source."
"Voodoo?"
"Yes. Later I must leave you. Today is Wednesday. This is the day of Papa Damballa. Oh, hey, say Papa Nuki Papase."
He continued his little chant until we reached the beginning of a long, high fence running along next to the narrow road. Cheever leaned down and swung a gate open. Then we walked up the path that led through the Cotswold property until we reached the house. There, sitting back between two huge trees, was the Cotswold mansion. I walked up to the front door alone.
"Mr. Diamond."
"Yes, Cheever?"
"Watch out for Mr. Jocelyn. He guard Cotswold."
"Thanks, I'll do that."
What do you want?
"I want to see Cotswold."
"You do, eh? What are you doing here, little Cheever?"
"I wait for Mister."
Found himself a new governor, what? You must be that fella Diamond.
I must be.
Well, come in. Mr. Cotswold's been expecting you.
He introduced himself as Jocelyn and led the way into a large panel study. And I met the big man himself, Arthur Cotswold. The drums stopped.
"Today is Wednesday. It belongs to the great god Damballa.
So I understand.
Most days of the week are significant in voodoo. Will you have a drink, Mr. Diamond?"
"No, thank you."
"Jocelyn, mix me a gin and tonic."
"Yes, Mr. Cotswold."
"Thursday and Saturday belong to Uzile Frida, the goddess of love."
"I'll have to remember that."
"I know why you are here, Mr. Diamond."
"I'm glad you do."
"For some reason, Gunther and the rest of the miserable farmers think I'm responsible for their trouble."
"Of course you're not."
"I simply tried to help them. With their cattle sick and their crops gone, I had my banker make them an offer."
"Have any of your cattle taken sick?"
"None.
Pretty strange.
Haiti is a strange land.
Now, you're not going to start talking voodoo.
You're a stranger, Mr. Diamond. There are many things that you would not understand, and I would certainly not try and convert you.
Well, I appreciate your interest, but I intend to find out why Gunther and his wife died.
This point I would most certainly give you advice on. Go home, Mr. Diamond. Leave well enough alone.
After I come up with an answer.
Mr. Diamond, I am not a patient man. I have gone out of my way to give you some healthy advice. Heed it. For your sake, heed it.
Well, thanks. I'll let you know what I find out.
You persist in this investigation?
I always persist. In fact, I'm the persistentist.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
The things we look for most in a cigarette are mildness and flavor. You'll find both of these things in Camels, day after day and pack after pack.
No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor, the flavor of costly tobaccos properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own 30-day Camel test. Not just a puff, not just a sniff, but normal smoking for about a month. You'll enjoy every puff, and you'll know without question how mild Camels are, how well they agree with your throat.
Yes, and you'll see why. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now, back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
I left Arthur Cotswold cooling his fit with a gin and tonic, went back to Chiva, and he led me back to town. On the way, I got an idea. When we arrived in town, I sent little Chiva back to the Gunther farm. Then I went in to talk to Inspector LaPlanche. The inspector had received a wire from one Lieutenant Walt Levinson, 5th Precinct, New York Police.
Well, I had no idea the New York police were interested in this affair.
They're always interested when someone drops dead. Now, here's something pretty interesting, Inspector. Mr. Gunther died of a disease known as brucellosis, commonly known in cattle as Bang's disease. Ever heard of it?
I am not a medical man, Mr. Diamond.
Well, it's undulant fever. Both Gunther and his wife probably caught it from their sick cattle.
What do you intend to do?
Well, I think those cattle were infected deliberately, and the cane fields burned purposely. If the cattle were infected deliberately, there must be some of the brucellosis still around, and I'm going to find it. Maybe at Mr. Cotswold's. I think you better issue a search warrant and come with me.
Mr. Diamond, the middle of the road, remember?
I think you'd better forget the middle of the road, Inspector. Unless you want me to get in touch with the authorities and have you held as a material witness in a murder case.
I will issue the warrant.
I kind of thought you would.
I will issue it, but you certainly do not think it will be enough to get you into the Cotswold house?
No, but it'll make it legal. I sent little Chiva back to collect some of his friends. They're going to help us get in that house, Inspector.
I will have no part of violence.
Oh, they won't even be with us. It would be easy to search the Cotswold place if Cotswold was out fighting a fire.
Fire?
Just a harmless fire, Inspector. But far enough away so that Cotswold will think it's his cane fields.
Oh, well, then I will certainly issue the warrant, Mr. Diamond. As long as we are going to do everything open and above board, I will certainly issue it.
Welcome back to the gutter, Inspector. The view isn't much, but you can't miss where you're going. Let's go get little Chiva.
What are all those natives doing at the Gunthers?
I don't know.
Looks like something's wrong.
We piled out of the car and pushed our way through the crowd of natives. Inside the house, we found what was wrong. Lying in the middle of the room was little Chiva. He was almost dead when I knelt beside him.
I talked to friends. They light fire for you.
Thanks, Chiva.
Now, Dambalowedo take me.
He's been stabbed.
Nearly cut him in two. They got him from behind. Never would have faced him.
You stay. You see, waitele non tete yamort.
See what? It is a ritual. It means taking the spirit from the head of the dead. He wants you to see it.
You stay. You believe voodoo.
All right, Chiva. I'll stay. Now, who did this to you?
Nazi. In back.
He's dead. The next few hours I'll never forget. The inspector knew what was coming, and he wanted no part of it, so he waited outside. I don't know whether I can describe it, but I'll try. And even though I saw it with my own eyes, I still don't quite believe it. The natives came into the house and picked up little Chiva. They placed him on a bench, and the ceremony began. Some of them had already obtained the necessary items used for Waitiloa non Teti Yum Mort. They included several live pigeons, olive oil, 30 pieces of fat pine wood, a pair of chickens, some coarse cornmeal, and a saddle blanket, and a large white plate. Little Chiva's body was covered by the blanket, and then the pigeons were killed and cooked without seasoning. The cornmeal was roasted, then placed in the white plate. The 30 slivers of pine wood were lighted and carried by the natives like candles. Then one of the natives took the white plate with the meal in one hand and the pot with the chicken in the other and approached the fire chanting a strange dirge. I nearly ran out with the screaming Mimis. As he finished the last line of the chant, the dead body of little Chiva sat straight up with straining eyes, bowed its head, and fell back.
You look a little pale, Mr. Diamond.
Well, I can't understand why. Probably because my blood's hiding in my feet.
What do you think of voodoo now?
Well, let's forget it, shall we? I haven't got the money for a good rest home.
Yeah. We are close to the Cotswold house.
Good. Let's park it here and wait until the fire starts. The inspector and I sat in the car and waited while the moon climbed up over the clouds and the drums in the distance tangled my nerves into complete knots. After about an hour of waiting, a dull glow to the south started the expected commotion in the Cotswold household, and we climbed out of the car.
Fire, Mr. Cotswold! The cane field! Fire! Get the servants! Get every man out there to fight that fire!
It had worked. The inspector and I stayed to the shadows until the last man went running out of the house. Then we went in. We worked as fast as we could. We took the place apart. And I must say, the timid inspector had really gotten out of the middle of the road. He tore the place apart like he'd spent most of his time on a wrecking crew.
I have not found a thing.
Oh, the house is clean.
There's a barn.
Then let's go. We went out of the house and headed for the barn about 50 yards away. The drums were louder now, and the dull glow of the fire had nearly vanished. It was obvious that the inspector and I had to work fast. He took one end of the barn, and I took the other. We worked toward each other. Just about the time I was ready to give the whole thing up.
Diamond! Diamond!
Inspector, you find something?
This hypodermic for cattle.
That's not enough.
This bottle hidden under this box.
Well, it's more like it. Let's get it back to town and have it analyzed.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Diamond.
Cotswold.
It was Cotswold, and he had 3 things on his side that made the situation very uncomfortable. His bodyguard, Jocelyn, and 2 guns. They stepped through the open door and moved up to us.
I see you found my secret, Mr. Diamond.
This is the stuff you've been infecting the cattle with. And this is what killed the Gunthers.
That's correct. You see, you should have really taken my advice and returned to the States.
You'll be held for murder, Cotswold.
Who will convict me, Mr. Diamond? No evidence, no one to testify. I'm surprised at you, Inspector. I thought you had more sense.
Sometimes a man finds his pride and does the best thing.
You know, of course, I can't allow either of you to live.
We had a hunch. Now tell me something. Who killed little Cheever?
He was getting to be a nuisance. I had Jocelyn here attend to the matter.
What's that, Diamond?
Mr. Cotswold, look!
Well, now I want to tell you, I'd seen a lot that day, but that was just a little too much. The howl had come from the open door, and standing in it, framed against the yellow moon...
It's him! It's little Cheever!
No!
But there he was, and he looked even bigger as he shuffled toward the two men, his arms swinging at his sides like two giant sledgehammers. He was going all the way. He hadn't just come back from the dead to sit up. He was taking a walk.
Get away! Get away! You're dead! Shoot him! Shoot him!
But Jocelyn was too terrified to even raise his arm. The big native reached out, grabbed him with both hands, and crushed him like an egg. For a minute, I was too stunned to move. Then when I saw Cotswold bring up his gun, I threw the bottle. It stopped him long enough for the big native to drop Jocelyn's limp body and charge in. Like an idiot, I had some stupid reason for wanting Cotswold alive, so I tried to head Cheever off. Ever try to stop a freight train with both hands out? He brushed me off, and I crashed into the wall just as he grabbed Cotswold.
No! No!
He picked him up, raised him high over his head, and threw him the length of the barn.
Diamond, he's coming over here.
Now, look, old boy. It's me, Diamond. Little Cheever, please,
Me not little Cheever.
What?
I should have guessed.
Should have guessed what? What is this?
This is Big Cheever.
Big Cheever?
Me little Cheever's brother. Me pay back for kill little Cheever.
Oh, good gosh.
I never thought
me Big Cheever. Come, I take you back to Gunther house. Little Cheever say you good man. I be your servant.
Well, if you don't mind, I just think I'll head back for the States and lie in a warm tub of mud for the next 6 months. Tell me something, Big Cheever.
What do you want?
You don't have a big brother, do you?
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, according to a repeated nationwide survey.
Doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country, have again been asked what cigarette they smoked.
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, try Camels and discover for yourself the reasons behind Camel's great popularity. You'll enjoy Camel's rich flavor and cool mildness pack after pack and week after week.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Friends, nothing can boost your morale like a gift, especially if you're in a hospital bed. That's why the Camel people send gift cigarettes each week to hospitalized servicemen and veterans in this country and overseas. This week, Camels are on their way to Veterans Hospitals, Rutland Heights, Massachusetts, and Lyons, New Jersey, U.S. Naval Hospital, Quantico, Virginia, and to all hospitals operated by the Far East Command of the U.S. Air Force. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Men, has your pipe got your tongue? Well, switch to Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke. PA's choice tobacco is specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Yes, and it's crimp cut, too, for smooth, burning, and cool smoking. Get Prince Albert, rich, flavorful, and with a delightful natural fragrance. It's America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Calling all adventure fans. calling all Dick Tracy fans. Stand by. Dick Tracy is on the air.
The makers of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, those two delicious, nourishing cereals that are shot from guns, now bring you another thrilling Dick Tracy detective adventure. And there go the big guns, reminding us all that puffed wheat and puffed rice actually are shot from guns right in the Quaker plant. Nourishing grains of sun-ripened wheat and rice are loaded into the guns, and then they're exploded to 8 times their normal size. That's what makes puffed wheat and puffed rice so specially easy to digest, so that you get their trigger-fast food energy much more quickly and easily. And that's important if you want to think fast and act fast like Dick Tracy does. And if you're a loyal Dick Tracy fan and friend, check up on the pantry at least twice a week to make sure there's always some puffed wheat or puffed rice there. Look to see at the end of today's program, and if there isn't one of those famous red and blue packages in the pantry now, ask Mother to order some from the grocer's. She's sure to be glad when you remind her of something so specially good for breakfast. And then you and Mother and Dad can join the thousands of happy families who enjoy Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice every day. And be sure you have your pencil and paper ready for today's secret messages. Get them now. When Dick Tracy closed the case involving the Baron and the substratosphere airplane plans, he paid a visit to Scotland Yard, and here the great detective found a new mystery. Dryden Small, the well-known Egyptologist, was returning to America with certain treasures which he had discovered in the ancient tomb of Tutankhamun. Small had reason to believe that someone was trying to kill him, and Tracy was asked to protect him on the voyage to America. Sitting in Small's cabin the first night out, Dick and Pat were startled to see a strange face peering in at their window.
Mr. Tracy.
What's the matter, Small? What's wrong?
Look, there at the window. The man with the yellow face.
So what?
Dick, great Scott, look. That awful face at the window.
It's gone now. Come on, Pat. We've got to find out who it is.
Yes, and why are we standing through that window? Oh, don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone.
We'll be back in a moment. Here, through this door, Pat. That'll bring us out on deck.
I don't see anyone.
No, neither do I. We'd probably waste our time if we tried to find out who it was now. It's got too much of a head start, and it's too dark to recognize anyone. Come on, we might as well get back to the cabin. There are a few questions I want to ask Dryden Small.
You know, Dick, there's something about that tomb digger rubber that I don't like.
Well, we're here to protect him, not to make a friend of him, Pat. What I want to know is why he was so secretive. He hasn't told us the whole story by any means, Pat.
What's your theory, Dick? What do you think he's trying to conceal?
Well, I'm not sure. But I think perhaps he stole something from Tutankhamun's tomb, something which might be considered very sacred. And those who consider it so are trying to get it back. That's only a wild guess.
Well, it doesn't sound so wild to me.
Well, Mr. Small, we couldn't find a trace of your friend with the yellow face.
Mr. Tracy, I must say I'm surprised. You promised me protection, and then you run off and leave me alone. Why, I might have been murdered.
Oh, nonsense. We were nearby. Nothing could have happened to you.
I wish you wouldn't treat this so lightly. You may not realize it, Mr. Tracy, but I'm in very serious danger.
I don't treat any of my obligations lightly, Mr. Small.
I tell you, the people who are after me are very clever. Not only that, but they have at their command all the forces of evil and black magic. Oh, so it's black magic now, is it? Yes, black magic and worse, perhaps. A curse has been set on me. I know it. I feel it. I'll never escape from it. Never.
Small, precisely what are you taking back to the States with you?
Oh, not a great deal. Some ancient pots and utensils used by the pharaohs, a fragment of the Great Seal, and also the mummy of Tutankhamun's second son.
The mummy is stored in the hold of the ship, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
And what else are you bringing back with you?
Nothing but those things I told you about.
Are you sure of that?
You don't believe me, do you?
To put it bluntly and briefly, no.
You think I'm holding back something from you, eh? Well, I'm not. I'm not, do you hear? I've told you everything. Everything. I don't know why they want to get me any more than you do. But I know they're after me, and you've got to help me.
I'm not so sure of that. I'm not so sure that I'm not going to rid myself completely of all responsibility in this case.
What? What do you mean?
I'll take the trouble to explain for the last time. When you go to a detective and ask his protection, you've got to tell that detective just what you're afraid of and what he's got to protect you against. Now, Mr. Small, don't withhold any information from me, because in this case, too, it may mean the difference between life and death.
I've told you everything. I swear it.
Who is the man in the yellow face?
I don't know. I don't know any more about him than you do.
From the way you spoke of him, you've seen him before. The man with the yellow face, you said. Do you know him, Small? Have you seen him before?
Yes, I have.
You were right all the time, Dick. He was holding something back.
Where did you see him before?
Several times in Cairo and once in London. I don't understand it. I'm not sure I know how to explain it. But it seems I saw him every time I received one of those scarabs. Those scarabs which mean death and destruction for those who receive them. The only time I saw him in London was at the theater. The usher handed me a program as I came in. When I opened it, there, folded in between its leaves, was one of the scarabs. At that very moment, I happened to look up at the boxes. And looking down at me was the man with the yellow face.
What else do you know of the man with the yellow face?
Well, that's all.
I don't believe you, Mr. Small. You know who he is, and you know what he wants.
I tell you...
Now, let me warn you once again. If anything happens to you, you'll have only yourself to blame. Because when you had the chance, you wouldn't tell us everything you know. And now, shall we go down to dinner?
Coffee, sir?
Oh, yes, please. By the way, Small, do you still carry that pearl-handled pistol?
Yes, and I shall never part with it.
If you ask me, it's much too dainty to be any good.
I'm afraid it isn't very much to depend on.
This pearl-handled revolver has been with me a long time, Mr. Tracy. I intend to hold on to it.
Hello. The lights have gone out.
Dynamo must have failed or something.
Certainly pitch black in here.
Tracy! Tracy! In the name of heaven!
Small, where are you? He's struggling with someone.
Help, Tracy, help!
If I could get my hands on whoever it is that... got him. Give me a hand here, Pat.
It's so dark, can't see a thing.
I've got hold of someone. Can't see who it is.
There go the lights. They're on again.
Small. Why, I was holding you all the time.
Who do you think you were holding?
Well, all I could do in the dark was to reach out and grab.
My throat, it hurts. Someone tried to choke me.
Yes, there are marks in your throat, all right.
Grabbing hold of me did one thing, anyway. It scared him off.
Yes, Small. This time he was scared off. I wonder if I'll always get to you in time. I can't protect you from something that's nameless, you know. Something you won't tell us about.
I've told you everything.
Now, look here, Small. Tonight, you had an example of what might happen. And apparently you're still unconvinced that telling me everything you know is the only sensible thing to do. Now, for the last time, will you talk up? Well, how about it?
I've told you the whole truth.
Very well. I've done my duty. I've warned you.
Hiya, Dick.
Oh, hello, Pat. Where you been? Walking about on deck?
Yeah. Isn't it a beautiful night?
Yes, I suppose it is.
Hey, met a girl strolling about on deck. Miss Foster, her name is. Oh, boy, what a girl. She's swell platinum hair and... Say, what's the matter with you?
Huh? Oh, nothing.
You got something on your mind?
Yes, Pat. And his name is Dryden Small.
Where is our friend Small? Or should I say our small friend?
In there.
Asleep?
Reading in bed, I think. Pat, I'm more than ever convinced that he's keeping something from us.
Hey, Dick, maybe the guy's on the level. Maybe we're just imagining things. Maybe someone is trying to get hold of some of the things he took from Tutankhamun's tomb. Small says they're very valuable.
They're valuable, all right. And that's one part of his story, I believe. But whatever the man with the yellow face is after, is more than just a few trinkets taken from Tutankhamun's tomb.
Well, I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. Our job is to see that Dryden Small reaches America safely. Once he puts foot on American soil, our job is done.
No, Pat. I'm afraid it isn't as simple as all that.
Well, why do you say that, Dick?
I've been telling Dryden Small that unless he tells me everything, I'm going to give up all responsibility for his safety. Of course, I'm not going to do that. Either while he's on this boat or after he lands.
But if he doesn't cooperate, why should you bother with him?
I've got to stay with Dryden Small until I'm sure that he's out of harm's way. We've had to protect uncooperative people before.
You know, Dick, there's something about this whole business that gives me the creeps.
Oh, it's not as bad as all that, Pat.
When we were chasing Max Gold or the Baron, we had something we could get our hands on. But what have we got here? Nothing but a face seen at the window. A figure that strikes in the dark. Dick, I don't like it.
Well, I'm not exactly delighted myself, Pat. But we policemen have to learn one thing. Not to turn away when there's an unpleasant job to do. Doing the things we like to do is simple. Doing the things we don't like to do that proves whether or not we're men, capable of holding down a man-sized job.
I guess you're right as usual. And I'm glad you jacked me up. Oh, look, Dick. It's my turn to sit up with Small tonight, but I was thinking that maybe...
Yes, Pat?
Well, you know, the girl I met on deck, Miss Foster, I said I'd meet her in the ballroom for a few dances at 10:30, and, well, I sort of wondered if...
All right, Pat. Go ahead. How will you get back?
Thanks, Dick. I won't be very late.
Tracy.
Yeah? What is it, Small?
Come into my bedroom one moment. There's something I want to show you.
What's the matter with you, man?
Come.
He sure looks funny to me, Dick.
All right, come along, Pat.
In here. Look. The wall above my bed.
Holy mackerel, Dick. Look. Someone's writing a message on the wall. Look, it's being written right before our eyes.
You see it, too? I thought I was going crazy. It's an invisible hand writing something on the wall. I can't escape it, and you can't help me. This thing is too big for us. It's too powerful.
Oh, the saints preserve us.
No, take it easy, you two. Let's see what the invisible hand is writing. There, it's evidently finished.
Yes. And look what it is written.
Your hour is at hand. Your end is near. The black pearl of Osiris must shine again.
Yes. And look, there on the floor. It's another scarab, Tracy. Another scarab.
What is the meaning of the strange message on the wall? And how is it written? It's a puzzler, all right. But now it's time for the Dick Tracy Secret Service Patrol meeting. The makers of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the specially delicious, nourishing cereals that are shot from guns, invite you to attend.
The 19th meeting will now come to order, and today the members of the Dick Tracy Secret Service Patrol congratulate the Boy Scouts of America on their 28th anniversary.
Let's all stand at attention, patrol members, as a tribute to that great boys' organization.
Boy Scouts of America, we salute you.
Fine, Junior. And now, patrol members, have you got a pencil and paper ready for the special secret code message? All right, Junior, let's have the message.
Here it is. Prisoner 25, 9, 3, 20, 11. 26, 21, 8, 17, 16, 20, 8, 16, 3. 8, 18, 15, 4. Did you get it? I'll repeat it again just to make sure. Ready? It's prisoner 25, 9, 3, 20, 11. 26, 21, 18. 17, 16, 20, 8, 16, 3. 8, 18, 15, 4.
Now you can decode that secret message with your Dick Tracy secret code book. And remember what it says, patrol members. It's important.
You know, Dick Tracy wants you to be as good as he is at decoding messages. So we're sending you a secret message every day this week.
Be sure you have your code book, a pencil, and some paper handy every day when you tune in on Dick Tracy. And listen, if you don't have a code book, join the Dick Tracy Secret Service Patrol now, so you won't miss all the swell secret detective activities and good times. Now here's...
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Now, from the makers of Cold Water Omo,
Mrs. Peel looked at the strange young lady who rejoiced in the name of Ola Monsey Chamberlain. She was certainly very fey. Her mind often seemed to be elsewhere, and her conversation switched from one topic to another without any logical link in thought.
I'm so sorry that Uncle had to go out. I hope you enjoy your stay here. The house is old and fusty. Did I tell you I'm having trouble with my teeth? Yes. Awfully good teeth, aren't they? White and straight.
Extremely. You said uncle just now, so you are related.
Oh, no, not really. I'm his ward. Mummy and he were awfully good friends. Mummy's dead now, and he looks after me. Well, I look after him more. He's such an old dear. I mean, he's old, but not a bit stodgy. It's this way to your room. Yes, you see, Uncle really understands me.
Oh, bully for Sir Cavalier. A psychiatrist as well as a bridge player.
The Avengers.
John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers.
So many housewives have discovered that the cleaning power of cold water Omo gives them sparkling clean results. Mrs. Joyce Whelan of East London has this to say.
I've tried it, and it works beautifully. I tried it on my children's clothes, on the general wash, and I noticed straight away that things were cleaner. Since then, I've used nothing else but cold water Omo.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user. Omo cleans best.
What's in the War's ice cream freezer today? I say, wow wafer. Wonder what's inside. Wow! Creamy strawberry and vanilla ice stuck together with munchy wafers. War's wow wafer. Wow!
Episode 2 of this story, in which John Steed nurses his sprained ankle, and Emma Peel is constantly reminded that a pack of cards always contains a joker. Mrs. Peel had been invited down to Sir Cavalier Rousicana's country home near Exmoor for the weekend. Sir Cavalier was a bridge champion, and he'd wanted to discuss Mrs. Peel's latest article on bridge and mathematics. Mrs. Peel had intended persuading John Steed to accompany her, but Steed had fallen downstairs and severely sprained an ankle. Mrs. Peel went alone, and was more than surprised to find Sir Cavalier not at home, and the old rambling house occupied by his ward, Miss Monsey Chamberlain. In the short while she'd been there, Mrs. Peel had already made up her mind that the stay would be a very unusual one. It had certainly got off to a kinky start.
Do you think I'm kinky?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You'll get used to me. This way.
Ola led the way up the wide oak stairs, along a landing flanked with suits of armor and tall furniture, and there at the end of the landing was, incongruously, a large swivel door. On the door was painted a life-size playing card. It was a joker.
What an extraordinary door.
Oh, yes. Doesn't open. Not like an ordinary door. It revolves. Look.
The door spun round. When it stopped, Emma found herself looking at the illustration on the other side of the door. It was the Ace of Spades, the death card.
Extraordinary. Where's my room?
Oh, through here.
I must say the house is magnificent. About 1620, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know much about these things at all, except that I think this house is dreamy, especially at night. Are you afraid of the dark?
Not especially.
I love the dark. Owl time. Full of creaks and crawls and chill spines. Oh, one can imagine all sorts of tingles, all sorts of things. This is your room.
Mrs. Peel entered a most gracious room, beautifully furnished with oaken chests, high-backed easy chairs, and dominated by a large, draped four-poster bed. Mrs. Peel was delighted with it.
But this is charming. Utterly charming.
Yes, it is nice, isn't it? Especially the bed. One can imagine some pale maiden with golden tresses just lying on it, wasting away for her night to come.
Night with a capital K, I presume.
Oh, one never knows one's luck. Of course, it's a bit difficult with a name like I've got. Ula Monsey Chamberlain. Monsey-Chamberlain.
So you said.
You know what the hyphen is, don't you?
The bar sinister?
Oh, well, at least that's what it was supposed to mean in the olden days. Monsey-Chamberlain. Did I tell you about Monsey?
Yes, you said he was a pirate.
Yes, that's right. We've had them all in our family. Pirates, judges, soldiers, nuns.
And you?
I'm an actress.
Oh. What have you done recently?
Well, I've only just become an actress. I'd rather be a nun, really. Oh, just imagine making benedictus and lovely liqueurs.
I think you've got that a little muddled. And the monks make it, not the nuns.
Oh.
But perhaps you could be smuggled into the monastery?
Oh, what fun, all those dirty habits. We've never had a smuggler in the family. Monsey was a pirate, but it's not really the same thing, is it?
While Mrs. Peel was unpacking her bag, Ulla moved over to the casement window and drew aside the lace curtain. She stared down into the fog. There, in the shrubbery, stood a large man, gazing up at the lighted window.
We've never had a smuggler, or a surgeon, or a dentist. Have I shown you my teeth?
Frequently.
We've never had a politician either.
Well, that could be a blessing in disguise.
Or a murderer. Yet.
Ulla, where are the rest of the staff?
Staff?
Well, surely you don't run this place on your own.
Only at the moment, for a little while. Nobody stays for long, you see. It's the end of the world here. So nobody stays for long. Except Mrs. Darbright, the housekeeper. She's away at the moment in Scotland visiting her sister. We're between housemaids. The old one left yesterday. The new one arrives Monday.
I see. And you don't mind being here on your own?
I'm not on my own now. There's you, isn't there? Yes. There's you. Well, I better start preparing dinner. It's funny you're not being afraid of the dark.
Mrs. Peel stared at the closed door, shrugged her elegant shoulders, and moved to the window to straighten the lace curtains. She looked out into the fog and down into the grounds. All was still, silent. The fog swirled between the branches of the trees, seeping into the bushes. There was no sign of the man. Down in the kitchen, Ulla moved to the refrigerator and took out a large, fat fish. She took it into the scullery and laid it on the huge, scrubbed wooden table. She glanced up at the clock. It ticked its message back at her. She smiled and moved to a rack of shining knives, selected one, tested its edge, and with a gesture that was more one of cruelty than any culinary act, plunged the blade into the fish's belly and prepared supper. Upstairs, Mrs. Peel finished dressing. She'd changed into a trouser evening suit and put the finishing touches to her hair. She glanced round the room before leaving it and noticed for the first time a large oak chest in almost the shape of a coffin. Intrigued, she walked over to it and lifted the lid. She stared at the contents. It was filled with old gramophone records, all old 78s. Just at that moment, quite close at hand, the dinner gong rang out. Ulla stood in the open doorway.
Dinner's served. Dinner's always served at 8 in this house. It's the only thing Uncle Cavalier's really strict about. Ready?
I'm quite ready. But shouldn't we wait for him?
Oh, no, he's going to be late. He insisted that you go ahead without him.
Oh.
Anyway, it's ready. Come along.
Ulla led the way along the passage and through the revolving door. The joker leered down at her. She looked back, and the ace of spades now guarded the way to the bedroom. As they walked downstairs to the dining room, Mrs. Peel said,
How do you know your guardian's going to be late?
What's that? Oh, do be careful of that bit of stair carpet. We don't want you falling down and breaking an ankle, do we?
No.
It can happen, you know, even to the most careful person.
Yes, I know.
Are you a careful person?
Reasonably. You haven't answered my question.
Did you ask one?
How did you know Sir Cavalier is going to be late?
Oh, he phoned me.
As they moved from the stairs across the hall, Mrs. Peel noticed the telephone standing on a table. She was darned sure if it had rung while she was dressing, she would have heard it. She entered the dining room. Quite the loveliest room in the house. The table was long, with magnificent candelabra at both ends. Placemats lined either side of the table. They all depicted playing cards. At either end of the table, 2 places were set. The table mats were both jokers. Ula indicated one.
If you'll sit here.
Thank you. That's strange, playing cards on the table mats.
Oh, they're very friendly. The eyes seem to stare at one alive. When I eat here alone, I play great scenes to them. Scenes full of desperate tragedy. I want to make the eyes weep. It's fish. Oh, the wine's red. Oh, dear, it's all I could find. The wine in the cellar is locked up, you see.
Oh, doesn't your uncle trust you?
No, it's not that. He always locks it up when he goes away for any length of... Oh, I just adore red wine, don't you? But it is fish.
Oh, I don't mind. My palate's quite adaptable.
Oh, that's all right, then. There's the bell if you want anything. Just ring and I'll come to you.
Aren't you joining me?
Oh, I'm on dart. Slimming. It's important for an actress to keep her figure. That place at the other end is for Uncle Cavalier when he gets back. Here's the fish. Oh, excuse me.
Mrs. Beale sipped her wine and tasted the fish. Both were excellent. The telephone stopped. Mrs. Peel's trained her ears to catch Ula's side of the conversation. She heard nothing. A few minutes later, Ula appeared in the dining room. She was dressed in warm, outdoor clothes.
A friend of mine in the village has been taken ill. She wants me to go over straight away.
Oh, then you must go, of course.
Oh, dear, I don't want to leave you here alone. I mean, I feel a bit bad about it.
I'll be perfectly all right.
It's 5 miles, the village. Even if I cut across the field, I mean, it's a long way.
Well, take my car. Here, the keys are in my handbag. There, I'll explain to your uncle what's happened.
You won't like it here alone. At night.
I'm not the nervous type. I'll probably curl up with a book.
Yeah, right you are.
Ula took the keys Mrs. Peel offered, and turning up the collar of her large tweed coat, made for the door.
I'll see you later, then. Oh, there was something else. You're all alone in this big house. Make sure you lock the door.
A short while later, the front door slammed. Mrs. Peel continued with her meal. Upstairs, the revolving door, seemingly unaided, slowly swung round. The joker was replaced by the death card. Watch it, Mrs. Peel.
Your dog gives you a lot of pleasure. Now here's something you must do for him. Give him all new Procos Health Food for Dogs. It's complete. New Procos contains all the energy-giving vitamins and protein a healthy dog needs. So with New Procos, you need feed him nothing else. New Procos Health Food is all he needs. Care for your dog. Give him New Procos Health Food for Dogs. It's complete, and he'll love it.
No dirt can stand up to the cleaning power of cold water Omo. Mrs. Whelan had to wash greasy overalls.
And I thought, oh, well, I won't worry. I'll stick it into cold water Omo, and sure enough, every bit of grease is out.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user.
The Avengers.
Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
You're one of the country's greatest magicians, Cartier, so I'll give you a good trick to do. I'll give you till Saturday to get that money.
I don't like your attitude, Grolberg. I'll pay you that money when I get good and ready. Sunday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the strange story, The Nemesis. A big railroad station in America's biggest city. Many people here, many lonely people, many desolate souls, many strange people. Look over there, standing beside that exit, a beautiful girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. Lovely creature. Beside her stands a man, a dark, silent man. The blonde and the silent man search the crowd from the incoming trains feverishly. Then suddenly the beautiful blonde speaks.
Lou, there he is. That's Cartier.
Where?
The swanky one with the Homburg hat and the cane.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, Sandra. I'll get him.
See you later. You know what to do.
Yeah, I know. So long, Sandra.
Lou, the dark, silent one, slips quickly through the crowd and steps up behind the man in the Homburg hat.
Your name Cartier?
What?
Cartier the Great? The magician?
Why, that's right. Who are you?
Doesn't matter. Just start walking.
What'd you say?
Out the door. That's a gun in your ribs, Mr. Cartier, so just keep walking.
What does this mean? I demand an explanation.
Just keep walking. To that cab at the curb.
Where are you taking me?
You'll be surprised.
Yes, Cartier, you will be surprised. You're going to the very place you planned not to go. But here you are, Cartier, right in front of it. A tall office building on 42nd Street.
All right. Get out, Cartier. You know where you are now.
Grolberg. It's Grolberg.
Get out. And no funny moves. I'll go along with you.
Careful, Cartier. Very careful across the walk into the elevator and up to the 7th floor. Well, here we are, the 7th floor.
All right, I'll leave you here, Cartier. Go on in.
What does he want? What does Grolberg want?
I don't know, buddy. But go on in. You'll find out. See you later.
Oh, there you are, Grolberg. Well, what a surprise. I really didn't expect to find you here this time of night.
And why did you come?
Oh, I wanted to see you.
Did you? I sent someone to see that you did come.
Well, now, wait a minute. I resent this. I'm getting a new manager tomorrow.
No, you're not. Not tomorrow or any other day.
Wait a minute. Are you threatening me, Grolberg?
That depends. Where is it?
What?
The $2,000 you owe me.
Oh, well, I had a little trouble.
You used that the last trip.
Well, I'm sorry to say I haven't a cent, but I'll get it now. Give me a little time.
I've given you 2 years.
You'll get it. You act as though I was trying to beat you out of it.
You would if you got half a chance. Now, get this. I need that money, and I need it right away. I'm giving you exactly 5 days to dig it up.
But I haven't got it.
Then get it. I'll be waiting here at 6 o'clock next Saturday night. And believe me, Cartier, you'd better have it.
And if I don't?
And I'll blackball you in every agency in the country. I'll see that you never work in vaudeville again.
You wouldn't dare.
Wouldn't I?
Goldberg, I'll pay you that $2,000. When I get ready.
Saturday night.
No bushy-haired, fat face like you's going to threaten me. I don't need you. I can get a booking any day in the week.
Try it.
I don't like your nasty attitude. Good night, Grolberg.
Wait a minute, Cartier. How would you like to dig up 3,000 instead of 2?
What do you mean?
Take a look at this. Ever see this check before?
George Welton, $1,000.
Notice your signature. And see what it says? No account in this bank. You know, you shouldn't pay gambling debts with rubber checks.
Where'd you get that?
Georgie Welton needed some money, so I took it off his hands. Georgie's my partner now.
What are you going to do with it?
Keep it till 6 on Saturday night. If you don't hand over the money, this goes to the DA. 6 o'clock, Cartier.
You're a swine, Grover.
You'll get the money?
No. No, not by Saturday, not 10 years from Saturday.
That final?
Yes, that's final.
Okay, too bad. This is the end of a great career.
You can go to the devil. Better get booking. Who'll I see first? Matt Rubicam.
Well, here you are, Cartier, standing in his office. It's Tuesday morning. You've got till Saturday.
Good morning. May I help you?
Yes, I'd like to see Mr. Rubicam. Cartier is the name.
Mr. Cartier to see you, Mr. Rubicam. Oh, yes, sir. He says he can't see you, Mr. Cartier. He's in conference.
What?
I'm sorry.
Nat Bromley, there's a swell guy. Tried to sign me up for years.
It's Wednesday now. Not much time left. Hurry, Cartier.
Nat, how are you?
I'm busy.
Look, I want to talk to you about a booking.
Leave your number with the boy.
Bromley, I wouldn't let you handle me if you begged me on your knees. I'm Cartier the Great. I'm big time. I'll show him.
It's Wednesday now. Only 2 days left. Harry Masnick. Tackle him.
Hello, Harry. How goes it?
Oh, hello, Cartier.
I want to talk over that offer you made me.
What offer?
Why, any one of the 10 you made me last year.
You don't seem to remember any offer.
What? Are you kidding?
What do you do?
Now, wait a minute. Get down off your high horse, Harry.
Sorry, magic ain't going this season. I could place a dog act.
If I didn't think you were kidding, I'd take a poke at you. It's Grolberg, that dirty rat. I didn't think he'd do it. Cut me out as clean as a whistle. This is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and the next day is... What was it Grolberg said?
The end of a great career.
This is Saturday. Not much time now. Time. That's what you want, Cartier. Time, remember? Hurry. It's 5 till 6. Grolberg's waiting.
Hello, Grolberg.
Oh, hello.
Now, look, Grolberg, have a heart, will
What do you want?
I didn't think you'd go through with it. I can't get booking any place. Now, how do you expect me to pay you back?
You said you didn't intend to.
I know, but I've got a proposition to make about that check.
Nothing doing. You made your choice.
Now, you're not really going to turn it over to the DA?
With pleasure.
I see. Hey, what's that gun on your desk for?
Gun? Oh. I figured you'd be coming back, but I wasn't sure just what frame of mind you'd be in.
You expect me to believe that?
I don't care whether you do or not.
You know what I think?
I'm listening.
I think your back's against the wall. I think you're broke and you're facing something unpleasant.
Well, if I am, you aren't helping much.
I might.
How?
I've got a ring here that's worth at least $2,000.
Oh, I don't want any ring.
Now, wait a minute. Take a look at it. It's a cat's eye.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks 4 miles deep. Notice the cut, the coloring, the depth of it.
Yeah.
This ring is worth money, Grolberg. A lot more than that check. I can't pay you all I owe, and maybe you can't pay all you owe, but a little would help us both.
Yeah?
You notice the fire in it? You see? You notice how it flares?
Yeah.
You're broke, Grolberg. You're broke. That's it. You're a failure. You haven't a chance. You're through. Look at this ring. This ring for the check. Okay. Give me the ring. There's only one way out for you, Grolberg. Better take that gun on your desk and use it for a one-way ticket. That's the best way out for you. You're a failure. You're washed up. You're through.
A failure. Washed up. Through.
Sorry, Grolberg. Good night.
Oh, Mr. Cartier.
What time is it?
5 after 6.
Thanks. Good night. See you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Hello there, Billy. Give me a hand with these buckets, will you?
Sure. Well, what for are you starting on tonight?
7. Mamie's taking them up to 6. Here we are.
That's got it.
Work. At 65, I should have a place of my own with a garden. And here I am, slaving away at $12 a week.
Ain't much. But I only make 17, and I got a wife who likes clothes.
I heard that before.
Here you are.
Thanks. I'll ring when I'm ready for the next floor. Oh, what's that?
A shot. Come from right across the hall.
Grolberg's office.
Come on. Gee whiz. It's Grolberg.
Shot himself. Holy Mother, get the police.
Now the same night, and we are standing at an open window, 8 flights up, still in Manhattan. That wide space out there is Washington Square. Yes, we're on Washington Square South, Greenwich Village. Artists, sculptors, models, actors, poets, and paupers. Behind you, in this cheap apartment, a party's in progress.
Come on, folks. How about another drink?
Okay, make mine a Tom Collins.
I'll have a Cuba Libre.
Help yourself in the kitchen. That's the best way. What's wrong with you, Sandra?
Nothing's wrong. Why?
Oh, come on now. Why mope? Cheer up.
Hey, Jerry, who else is coming tonight?
Oh, quite a crowd.
Do you know who I like?
No, who?
That big, good-looking football player from Oklahoma. You know, the one he laughs all the time.
Ralph Brent?
Yeah, I like him. He's wealthy, isn't he?
Oh, that is why you like him. Who else is coming?
Well, remember Cartier, the magician?
Oh,
He said
yes.
he'd try to come.
Oh, maybe he'll do some of his tricks again. Oh, golly, it's hot in here.
Well, Ricardo, open that window in the kitchen. Get a breeze in there, huh?
Oh, somebody's at the door.
Hello, Cartier. Glad you could make it. You know everybody. Make yourself at home. Refreshments in the kitchen. Help yourself.
Thanks. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello, Cartier.
I think you know everybody. Sandra Hale. Cartier the Great.
Oh, yes, the magician. Yes, I should say I do know him.
Hello, Sandra. How are you? Will you help me in the kitchen?
Why, can't you pull your drinks out of your hat?
yeah, but it's awful stuff.
Come along, then.
Now, let's see. What have we? Oh, yes. This is for me. How have you been, Sandra?
I hear you've been on the road a year.
That's right. Didn't you miss me? What have you been doing?
Modeling.
Modeling? Here, watch. There. Drink right out of your sleeve. Ever see that one?
Yes, too often. Better save your tricks for the crowd. They'll be jealous. Come on, let's join them.
All right.
Come on, Cartier. We're waiting to be hoodwinked. What have you got in your bag this time?
Oh, a few oldies, couple of new ones.
We don't care. I love them all.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. You see this scarf? Now, wait a minute. All right, here's the scarf. Now, nothing in it. I wave it twice in the air, pass it around the room, and then I place it gently on Bella's head. Now, I remove the scarf, and there you are.
What is it? What happened?
Well, feel the top of your head, Bella.
Ain't it there?
Oh, feel.
Okay. That's a dirty trick.
Oh, you scared her to death.
Oh, she'll get over it. It was a white mouse. Come on in here, Sandra. I want to talk to you. Tell me, who do you model for, Sandra?
I did do some fashion photographs.
Did?
Yes, but lately it's been slow.
How lately?
Well, as a matter of fact, I worked only 4 times this year.
Only 4 times.
Mm-hmm. My books show $100 in the past year.
Really? Well, why don't you try something else? Why waste time modeling?
What, for instance?
Oh, why don't you marry me, Sandra? You know I love you. I've always loved you.
Why don't you give me a job?
As what?
An assistant.
So, you know, I believe you've got something there. I'd like that.
Good. When do we start rehearsal?
Right now.
Now? Oh, this is so sudden.
Oh, there's a lot to learn. It takes several months of hard work.
I don't mind.
You know, I've got several new ideas for next season, but I haven't decided on anything definite.
We could do a hypnotist act. I could be a stooge.
Hey, Cartier, come out of the kitchen. The big championship fight's on tonight. You want to listen? The preliminaries are on now.
Okay, just a minute. We're busy.
We can sure see that.
Sandra, have you ever been hypnotized?
Never. Why?
Well, it would make a terrific act.
Well, how do you know you can hypnotize me?
I could try.
Okay, try it.
All right. Here's a ring. Now, you gaze into it. Don't look away. Just keep gazing. You're going to sleep. The ring. You're getting drowsy. You can hear no sound but my voice. Repeat what I say.
I am going to sleep. I am getting drowsy. I can hear no sound but your voice.
No sound but my voice. Take this pad and pencil. Write. Jerry is a simpleton. Now, wake up. Sandra.
Huh? What? Oh, how do you know you can?
Can what?
Hypnotize me.
I've just done it. Isn't this your writing?
Well, yes, but I didn't write
Oh,
this.
but you did. You did. I saw you, and very good. Say.
But I wouldn't write anything like this.
Wait. Let's try it again. Here, look in the light. Sleep. Sleep. My voice. My voice. You can only hear my voice. You're now asleep. Do you see Madison Square Garden? There's a fight going on. What round is it?
2.
If one man falls, tell me.
1 falls.
Which one? Where are your cats?
Cats, they hold up the other's hand.
Sandra, wake up. Wake up!
Oh. What did I do?
Oh, nothing very important. Come with me, Ladies and gentlemen,
Quiet, please. I wish to make an announcement.
Oh, go ahead and make it.
From this day on, the act of Cartier the Great shall be billed as Cartier and Sandra. Yes, I've discovered a new partner. She is clairvoyant to the nth degree. I shall develop my new hypnotism act, and Sandra is to be my assistant. All right, okay. Come here, Sandra. Take this ring. Sit down. I'm going to show you, pighead, something. Now, all right, now, Jerry, now, I don't know who you've invited here tonight, and if I did, there's no way of our telling who will walk in the door next. Is that right? Yeah. Well, I'm going to hypnotize Sandra, and she's going to describe the one who'll enter next. All right, now, quiet. Wait a minute. Quiet, please. Sandra, sleep. Drowsy. Look into the future. Tell us, Sandra. Describe the person who will enter that door next. Speak.
A man. A small, thin man. Curly hair. A slight mustache. Eyes close together. Sunken chest. And he walks with a slight limp.
Hey, that's Georgie.
Georgie Welton.
Yeah, he's coming tonight. That's him exactly.
Did you say Georgie Welton?
Sure. You know him.
Yes, I know him.
The man.
She's saying something else.
The man. Oh, there's something wrong with him. He's in danger. In trouble. Yes, he doesn't know it. But he's approaching something terrible.
Sandra, wake up. Wake up!
Oh, what happened this time? What did I say? Well, why is everybody staring at me so strangely?
Oh, it's Georgie. For the love of Mike, where you been?
Come in, Tracy.
Sandra was right. She guessed it. It was you.
Hey, what was me?
Oh, she sure hit it.
Oh, it is uncanny. How do you do it, Sandra?
What are you talking about?
That's what I want to know. Nothing, Georgie. Forget it. Go on out in the kitchen. Help yourself. Anything you want.
Yeah, thanks. Well, what's out here?
Hello, Georgie.
Cartier.
What's the matter, Georgie? You look a bit pale.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you, Georgie. Where you been hiding?
What do you want?
I want to make a little deal about that check I gave you. I'd like to get it squared up.
What kind of a deal?
Well, you see, I'm a little short of cash right now, and I knew you could use some, so I thought I might give you this ring. It's worth a couple of $1,000. Be a good deal. How about it?
Well, I ain't got the check no more.
Where is it?
I sold it to Groberg.
Why'd you do that?
I needed the dough.
Well, you can get it back and still have some left.
Yeah, I could, only...
What's the matter with you?
Well, ain't you heard?
Heard what?
Groberg's dead.
Dead? When did this happen?
Well, this evening at his office. Say he committed suicide.
What do you know? Poor old Groberg. I guess he got up against the wall. Huh?
Yeah. Hey, gee,
What's wrong?
I feel kind of sick and kind of dizzy.
It's pretty hot tonight. Come on over to the window. The air will help you. Here, drink this.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, about this check. I'd like to have it. Take a look at this ring. This ring would make it more than worth your efforts in getting that check into my hands. You understand? I don't want anything like that hanging over me when I can possibly avoid
it. Everybody happy? That's him. That's Ralph.
Oh, my football hero.
Ralph, where have you been?
Well, I got delayed over in Jersey. Hi, gang.
You know everybody.
Yeah, sure. Say, has the fight started yet? I got to hear that.
Oh, it's on now. Radio's in the bedroom. First round's just over.
Yeah, well, I'm betting kind of heavy on cats. Say, anybody want to bet? I'm offering 10 to 1.
How much you say you were offering?
10 to 1.
I'll take some of that.
Okay. How much?
Oh, I've got 200 to put on Murray.
Well, now, that's a bet. Are you sure you can spare it?
I'm worrying about you.
Don't worry about me. No, sir. Well, turn it up. I want to hear it.
They come into the ring dancing. There goes Katz. He's a little groggy after that last one, but he's working hard now. There. Katz lands a left to the jaw, a right, a left, onto the... Oh, a hard left to Murray's stomach. And Murray looks a little tired, but he's in there punching. Yes, he's in there. Yes, oh, he landed a left to Katz's button. And he's following it right through. A left to the jaw, another one. And there he goes. Katz is down. He's down. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. He's out. Murray is the winner.
Turn it off. Well, you win, fella. Here you are.
Thank
Truth
you.
out.
Thank you.
Say, where'd you get that hunch, Katya?
I don't know, Jerry. I'm sure I don't know.
Oh, somebody else coming late, ain't they?
Yes?
What's going on here?
A party. Come on in, join us.
Thanks. On in, Murphy. Any of you people know George Welton?
Sure, we all do.
You know where he is?
He's here.
Oh, yeah, he's been here for some time.
Where is he?
Why, he's... Hey, who are you? What do you want?
Police headquarters.
Police?
What's he done?
I didn't say he'd done anything. Where is he?
Georgie? Hey, where is Georgie?
He was out in the kitchen.
Well, get him, Bella. What's he done, officer? You've been here all evening.
Hey, Jerry, he isn't here.
Well, look in the bedroom.
He's not here either. But how on earth did he get out?
You want to know?
Well, why keep us in the dark?
He went out through the window.
Why, that's ridiculous. There's no fire escape.
That's right. We just found him 8 stories below on the sidewalk. We found this note on him. He said he was sick and he was going to end it all. That makes it a clear case of suicide.
Suicide, huh? I thought he was acting funny.
Poor George. What a shame. I can't imagine what came over him.
Well, gee, she told us it was going to happen. I thought she was kidding.
Yeah, who told you?
Why, Sandra over there. She told us before George came in the room that he was approaching something terrible, that he was in trouble.
How'd she know that?
I don't know. We were kidding, and Cartier hypnotized her, and she described Georgie as the next one to enter, and then she told about something going to happen to him.
Oh, is that so? Well, who is she?
Sandra Hale.
Sandra Hale. Are you Cartier?
That's right.
What do you know about this Sandra Hale?
Well, I found that she was a very easy subject to hypnotize.
Hey, I'll bet that's how he knew who was going to win that fight tonight.
Yes, that's right. Under hypnosis, she has an uncanny power to see into the future.
What's the matter with her now? Why is she sitting over there in the corner?
Yeah, what's she staring at?
I just better ask her a few questions.
I'd rather you didn't just now.
Oh, yes? Why not?
I hypnotized her and...
Yeah, why?
I wanted to see if she could tell me the winner in the derby tomorrow, and you came in, and that sort of broke my control. I found it very difficult to snap her out of it quickly. I'll let her alone for a few minutes, and I'll get her out.
What's she staring at? What's she got in her hand?
She's mumbling something.
Wait a minute. Whose ring is this she's holding?
It's mine. In order to put the subject under, he must stare into a shining object.
Miss Hale. Miss Hale.
I asked you not to bother her.
Yeah? Miss Hale. Why, she's in a trance. Miss Hale, did you see George Welton in trouble?
Falling through space. Dying. He's dead.
Did he jump?
Yes. No. He's being forced. Forced to do something.
Against his will?
Yes. He's writing. Writing something.
Hey, Joe, give me that suicide note, quick. Miss Hale, take this. Is he writing this note?
Yes. But he doesn't know it. Someone is dictating to him. I'm dictating to him.
You? What else do you see?
A shining object. It's blinding.
Go on.
Now he's sitting behind a desk.
The thin man? George?
No. He is bushy-haired and fat. He's high up. He is bushy-haired and fat, with a large nose, a mustache.
Sandra, wake up.
Leave
wake
her
up.
alone, will you? Leave her alone.
She's in bad shape. I tell you, something might happen to her.
A bushy-haired fat man at a desk. What's he doing?
There's a gun on the desk. He's staring at something. Something bright. He's saying something. No. Someone else is saying something. I am saying something to him.
Does this fat man have a gold front tooth?
Gold front tooth. Yes.
Hey, that's a perfect description of Goldberg, Georgie's partner.
Certainly is. He shot himself tonight. Is someone dictating to him?
Yes. I am.
You? Are you in the same room?
No. I am standing on the curb below. I am looking up and mumbling.
What are you mumbling?
Pick up gun. Only way out. Against your temple. fire.
Let her alone. You're killing her. Sandra!
What was the bright object he was staring at?
I don't know. Yes, I see it. I see it now.
Is it a ring?
Yes, a ring. A shining cat's eye. I must escape.
The same ring the thin man saw before he fell?
The same. I must escape.
Same you're staring at now?
The same. Cat's eye! Cat's eye! Cartier! I killed the
Know about that? Oh, I know. She knows.
Well, Cartier, how do you like that? Hey, where is he?
Wait, Cartier's gone.
You dope, why didn't you stay at the door?
Well, I tried to.
Hey, anybody leave this room, Murphy?
Well, yeah, a fellow went upstairs, but nobody went down.
Upstairs, that's him. Murphy, downstairs and cover the elevator. Come on, Joe. He's probably making for the roof. We'll go after him.
Time. More time. One more floor. I need time. Time. One more floor. There it is. The door to the roof. 15 feet to that other roof. I can make it. I've got to make it. 15 feet or 15 stories straight down. 15 feet or 15 stories.
Cartier! Stop! Don't jump!
Well, Cartier, there you are, 15 stories down. This is one trick you must. Maybe this is what Goldberg meant when he said,
"The end of a great career."
Too bad, Cartier, but you didn't know what I know. A woman was your nemesis, Cartier. Yes, a woman. A beautiful blonde with blue eyes. Remember Sandra? Yes, Sandra. You really hypnotized Goldberg and Georgie, and Sandra, too, the first time, but not the second time. Sandra was faking then. She was too strong-willed for you. She was faking. She suspected you, and for good reason. She had married Goldberg a month ago. It was Sandra who pointed you out to the man at the station. Yes, Cartier, a woman was your nemesis.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time.
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
These weekly half-hour dramatizations are designed to prove to old and young alike that crime does not pay. Before the curtain rises on Act One of today's Shadow Story, attention, please. When you get that extra ton of coal to see you through to the end of the heating season, make sure that it's blue coal. Look for Blue Coal's unmistakable blue color trademark. That familiar blue coloring is your guarantee of better home heating, for it's the approval seal of Glen Alden, world's largest hard coal producer. Yes, when you buy blue coal, you can be sure of greater heating comfort at less cost. You'll find, too, that the blue coal way is the easy way to heat your home. So phone your friendly blue coal dealer tomorrow. Now be sure to hold on for John Barclay's important message and free offer at the end of this program. The Shadow mysterious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. The Shadow uses his hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the Shadow belongs. Today's story, The Plot That Failed. As our scene opens, we see a big power shovel deep in its self-made pit. The excavation of the cellars and sub-cellars of an apartment building in the city.
Well, we'll be through digging this hole by tomorrow.
Yeah, Joe.
Boss tell you where we go next?
No, he didn't say.
Probably be laid off for a while. Hey, Tony, back that truck closer.
Hey, Donna, go close.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here. Luke, check the water in the motor, huh?
Yeah. Water's okay. Hey, something's screwy. The motor stopped. All the insulation's melting off the wires. The engine's wide.
Hey, what's the matter? The derricks is pulled down. Hey, Luke, get out of here. The controls won't work.
I'm scramming. You better get out yourself. Hurry up.
There goes the derrick. Run before the gas tank explodes. Run it! Run!
All right, Margot, all right. Yes, we'll buy the 400 eggs tonight. Yes, we'll hard-boil them. Yes. Then tomorrow morning we'll put on our long rabbit ears and play Easter Bunny for all the little children you've ever heard of.
Well, Lamont, if you don't want to help me, you don't have to. If Shrevey doesn't ever come, we'll never get the eggs done.
Oh, you'll be along. He probably...
Here he comes now with all the speed of a slow-gated snail.
Hey, Shrevey, hurry up. Get this cab going.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cranston. The funniest thing I ever seen,
You don't sound sorry.
Miss Lane, if you'd have seen those two guys hopping around, you'd have died laughing. You'd have died.
What happened?
Well, you see, I was looking in a hole, and down in the hole was this big extraditing machine, and them two fellas was working it. They must have got hot or something because the machine started to melt. It
started to melt?
Yeah, boy, were they funny. Where do you want to go to?
We're going to get some eggs, Shrevey.
And on the way, we'll stop to see Professor Brown at City University.
Oh, Lamont, that's like saying we're going to Chicago from New York by way of Florida.
It'll only take a moment, Margot.
And it'll only take a moment to get the eggs, and the modern market is right on the way.
Well, excuse me for sticking my nose in where angels fear the thread, but I could get the eggs I could get while you two was talking to the professor at City University.
Shrevey, you're a genius.
Mr. Cranston, I believe. Come in.
Professor Brown, this is Miss Lane.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I'm afraid you'll find my laboratory built for work and not for comfort.
Oh, I think it's delightful.
It's never been called that before. Dr. Forbes.
Yes, Dr. Brown.
Miss Lane, Mr. Cranston, I'd like to have you meet my assistant, Dr. Forbes.
How do you do? Lane, Dr. Cranston. Miss Lane, won't you sit here?
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate your coming here, Mr. Cranston, more than I can tell you. Particularly since my request will probably seem a bit strange. I want you to help me find the Shadow.
The Shadow?
You've heard of him, haven't you?
Well, yes, of course I've heard of him, but how did you happen to ask me to help you find him?
I asked Commissioner Weston. He hit on the splendid thought that you might be interested due to your work as an amateur criminologist.
Oh, I see.
We must find the Shadow.
Well, from what I know of that elusive gentleman, that's a man-sized job in itself. You must tell me more of your plan, Professor Brown.
Well, that is certainly a reasonable request. But we'd appreciate it if you'd trust us for the moment and believe us when we tell you that it is of great national importance.
All right, Professor Brown. I'll try to find the Shadow for you.
Oh, Lamont, that's one of the funniest things I ever heard.
Miss Lane, if you don't mind my sticking my nose
yes,
in...
Yes, I know where angels fear to tread.
Exactly.
Well, Professor Brown just asked Mr. Cranston to find the Shadow by tonight.
Huh? Oh, boy, that's a hot one, as the fella says.
Did you get the eggs, Shrevey?
The eggs. Yeah, I got them.
Good. Shrevey, let's get going. Commissioner Weston's office.
Yes.
Commissioner Weston? Well, when are we going to hard-boil Easter eggs?
Well, we can do that after we've seen the commissioner. There's something funny about this, Margot.
Yes, very funny.
No, but seriously. Either the commissioner is playing a joke on me and the professor, or the professor has never talked to Commissioner Weston. In either case, I want to find out.
We have arrived at our destination, Mr. Cranston.
Fine, Shrevey, fine.
Mr. Cranston, when you see Commissioner Weston, would you put in a good word for my bosom friend and companion, Big Charlie? He's in a clink, he is.
Well, not this time, Shrevey. We haven't much time. Don't forget, there are 400 eggs eagerly waiting to be boiled and decorated by Easter morn. You wait here, Margot. I won't be long.
Lamont, if you're not here in 10 minutes, Shrevey and I'll come in and boil all 400 eggs right in the commissioner's office.
Commissioner Weston, you know I hate to interrupt you when you're so busy, but this time I just came to thank you.
Thank me, Cranston, for what?
For commending my abilities as an amateur criminologist to Professor Brown of City University.
Now, listen, Cranston. I will admit you've given me a few tips at times that have been a great help. But I never recommended you as a professional or even an amateur criminologist to anybody, much less Professor, what's his name, of City University.
That's all I wanted to know, Commissioner Weston. Many thanks and good day.
Hey, Cranston, what's on your mind? Come back here.
I've got to cook 400 eggs for Easter.
Didn't you get no chance at all to mention Big Charlie, Mr. Cranston?
The commission was too busy, Shrevey. Maybe we'll have better luck next time.
I'm afraid there won't be no next time, I'm afraid. Because I think Big Charlie's little woman is going to sock him on the head with something when he gets out. Boy, she's mad enough now to end up a widow.
That's pretty mad.
Lamont, do you think that Commissioner Weston was fooling you about not recommending you to Professor Brown?
I don't know, Margot.
You don't suspect Professor Brown and Dr. Forbes of anything wrong, do you?
Well, they're hardly the criminal type, but I still wonder why they want the Shadow to help them.
We're at the university, we're at.
Very good, Shrevey. Drive Miss Lane home. I'm going in to tell them I didn't find the Shadow. Margot, it's a shame we don't know where the Shadow is, as I know that he would like to investigate this right now.
Oh, very well, Lamont. Be careful.
Yeah, don't take no wooden nickels.
All right. And don't you take any rough roads on the way home, Shrevey. Remember those eggs.
I will. I won't.
Yes?
Who's there, Professor?
I saw the door open and close.
Oh, yes, so did I.
You're quite right, Dr. Forbes.
Oh. What did you say, Brown?
Professor Brown said nothing. It is the Shadow that speaks.
Extraordinary. I wouldn't have believed that complete invisibility was possible unless I'd witnessed the phenomenon.
Yes. Your ability, Shadow, can be most useful to us if you'll assist us in our work.
I should like to know a little about this work before I give you my answer. Just what do you plan to do?
Well, it's perfectly reasonable for you to ask. Brown and I have perfected a device or system for communication or signaling. It can be used either for carrier beams that will give direction to airplanes or ships at sea, or for carrying direct messages.
That's very interesting. But why do you need me?
Oh, you are most important.
Recently, we have discovered that some forces not interested in the welfare of this country have learned of our invention. Unfortunately, it must be tested more thoroughly than it has been in the confines of our laboratory before we can offer it to the government.
Just what do you expect the Shadow to do?
We hope that the Shadow will cooperate. Without being seen, he can place 6 of the machines at various strategic points around the city.
We will make it well worth your while, Shadow. This device will make us more powerful.
Enough, Brown, please.
Yes, of course.
Well, Shadow, are you interested in joining us in this very worthy experiment?
Very much interested indeed, Dr. Forbes.
Oh, good, good. Then I'll explain further. Now, at the 6 strategic points in this city, we have rented rooms and lofts. The machines are all boxed in plain packing cases, and they're to be left in their wrappings. There are only 3 things that you must do. First, place the packing case near the window. Second, be sure that the side with the circle faces the window. And third, uncoil the wire at the back of the case and plug it into a wall socket. Is that all clear?
Perfectly. Where are the cases?
Well, 4 of them are here just outside the entrance hall, and 2 others are now at the buildings on either side of the new excavation on Main Street. Their exact location and that of the 6 strategic points are on a list that you will take with you. Oh, give him the list, Brown.
Yes, of course, sir.
Well, good luck, Shadow. Later, you'll see for yourself what this machine can really do.
Thank you, Dr. Forbes. It'll be very interesting to see what this experiment proves. I'm quite anxious to know just how it will make us so powerful.
Shadow. He's gone.
He fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. Warm weather is on its way, but it'll be quite a while yet before you'll be comfortable without a fire in your furnace. So give your coal bin the once-over this evening. Then, if you find it's getting low, order a ton of blue coal first thing in the morning to carry you through to the end of the heating season. You'll be more than pleased with the heating results you'll get from blue coal. Steadier, more dependable, more healthful heat at less cost. You'll discover, too, that the blue coal way is the easy way to heat your home. So always specify blue coal, the economy coal. Phone your friendly blue coal dealer tomorrow. You'll find the name of your neighborhood blue coal dealer listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the words Blue Coal. Here's a special announcement for you listeners who missed the start of this program. Be sure to hold on for the special free offer John Barclay, America's home heating expert, has for you at the close of this broadcast. Mr. Barclay will tell you how you can add to your personal convenience and comfort and save yourself real money in the bargain. Yes, just a moment of your time invested today may save you hours and dollars in the months to come. So be sure to listen to John Barclay at the end of this program. And now, back to the shadow. It is several hours later. We find a very tired and footsore Lamont Cranston struggling off the elevator of an apartment building with 2 heavy bundles, one under each arm. He goes down the hall.
Come in, Lamont. Where have you been? What have you been doing? What are those things?
Whoa, one at a time, Walker. Let me put these things down. Now, to answer your question, I've been all over the city carrying packing cases up and down stairs.
Oh, you poor dear.
Yes, next time 2 scientific gentlemen have some freight to be hauled, they can call on the express company. But what have you been doing?
Oh, I've nearly been going crazy.
Huh?
Did you ever try to boil 400 eggs in a wash boiler all at once?
No.
Well, I don't think it can be done.
There's one thing I wish you could do.
What?
Make me some coffee.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I've got work to do, and I'm afraid I'll go to sleep.
All right, I'll make some right away.
All right. Oh, dear. Oh, Margot, where's that big city map of yours?
Oh, in the top drawer of my desk.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I got it. Now, let me see. Right there. There. I'm a stupid fool.
What'd you say, Lamont?
Oh, I've been an idiot, Margot, a blind idiot.
What is it?
Here, look. Look at this map.
Yeah.
You see these 6 places that I've marked?
Yeah.
That's where I put the machines tonight. Do you notice anything unusual about their location?
Well, they're in 3 different parts of town.
Yes, but if you look more closely, you'll notice that they're grouped in pairs. One machine of each pair is placed on either side of an important key point. Police headquarters, telephone building, the powerhouse.
Lamont, you haven't told me yet what these machines are, what they do.
Well, for a very good reason. I don't know.
Well, what are those 2 packages you brought in with you?
They're a pair of the machines.
I thought you distributed them all.
I'm afraid that our friends at the City University are going to be a little upset when they find bricks and scrap iron in one pair of the cases.
Well, what are you going to do with the machines that you have here?
Well, first, we'll set them on opposite sides of the room here. Now,
Come on,
like
Cranston,
this.
don't you plug those machines in until you find out what they do.
I brought them here so I could examine them more closely, Margot. Will you take the paper off that one, dear, while I take the one off this?
Yes. Look, Lamont.
Huh?
Something like a cross between an X-ray and a television outfit.
Well,
Looks innocent enough. Lamont, you may be doing those two men a great injustice.
You may be right, Margot.
Well, Brown, is everything in order? You check all the machines?
Yes, Dr. Forbes. The Shadow has been a good and efficient assistant. The machines are all in place and working. Now the only thing to do is wait.
Good, good. You know, it's a shame that we have to destroy the Shadow. He could be most useful, but it's too dangerous to allow him to live to learn the true purpose of my machine.
Your machine?
Yes, mine.
But I invented it.
Yes, and like so many inventors, you were too stupid to realize its true potentiality. Without me, you'd still be nothing. Now you stand on the threshold of a new life.
A new life? What is our first step after tonight?
Well, you don't have to worry about that, but come, there are a couple of things yet to be done. Oh, are the two extra machines set up in the room behind the laboratory?
Yes, sir, and the control panel is in order right by the door.
I see. Have you tested it?
Oh, yes, indeed.
All right. Well, the next thing to do is for you to call Lamont Krantz' phone and have them over here. Just to thank them. Perhaps reward them with a demonstration of the machine.
Dr. Forbes, are you planning to destroy them, too?
They know too much.
They know nothing.
I can take no chances.
But that's murder. Murder, I tell you.
You're right, Professor Brown. Sometimes I get so carried away with the importance of our inventions, I lose all perspective. I'm sorry.
Oh, forget it, Doctor. I'm afraid I was upset, too.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, by the way, Professor, would you get me my heavy rubber gloves? I want to check our new high-tension insulators.
Oh, surely. Where are they?
They're in the room back of the laboratory.
I'll get them. I don't see your gloves back here. Dr. Forbes, get away from that control panel. Don't touch the switch. You fiend, stop!
Exit Dr. Brown. Completely.
Hello? Yes? This is Margot Lane. Who is this? Who? Oh, Dr. Forbes. Yes, Doctor. How are you? Mr. Cranston is there, and he's had an accident. Yes, certainly, Doctor. I'll hurry right over. Oh, Lamont, this is getting less and less funny.
What was that all about, Margot?
Dr. Forbes informs me that you're at Professor Brown's laboratory and have met with an accident.
What?
What shall I do?
Let me use your phone.
Who you call?
I'm calling my apartment house. Hello? This is Mr. Cranston. Have any phone calls come in for me in the last few minutes? Oh, well, thank you very much.
What?
Just as I suspected. Dr. Forbes just called me. Hello? Dr. Forbes? This is Lamont Cranston. I was in the shower, and I thought I heard the phone ring. The man at the desk told me you'd called. What's that? What, is it serious? I'll be there as soon as I can. Well, Margot, we're in for something, and I don't know just what it is. But whatever danger is ahead of us, at least we have the advantage of going into it with our eyes open.
Where to, Mr. Cranston?
We want to go to City University, Shrevey.
Yes, sir.
Margot, I can't make head or tail of it. I don't know what that mission... Shrevey, for heaven's sake, don't make all that noise, will you, please?
Well, golly, Mr. Cranston, I was only trying to cheer things up. I was only.
Well, don't.
You should ought to spend more time getting a laugh out of life. Like I did today when you said you was trying to find a shadow. Or when them two guys jumped off the extraditing machine when it melted.
What do you mean, melted?
But just like I say, if something melts, it melts.
Where was the excavation, Shrevey?
Over on Main Street.
Margot, I've got it.
What?
That's the answer. Shrevey, thank you 1,000 times.
Oh, that's okay, Mr. Cranston. I'm always... what are you taking me for?
You gave me the right track on a great invention.
Oh, them steam shovels are certainly great things.
Stop the car, Shrevey. I'm getting out here.
Yes,
Oh, Lamont, I thought we were going to call on Professor Brown and Dr. Ford.
Listen, Margot. This is much more serious than I thought. You must go to Professor Brown's lab alone. Your job is to keep them there.
All right, Lamont. What are you going to do?
I must go and disconnect those machines before the entire city is demolished.
Oh, Miss Lane.
Oh, I hurried as fast as I could, Dr. Forbes. Is Mr. Cranston all right?
Oh, it's nothing serious. Come with me. He's in the back of the laboratory.
Oh, I do hope he's all right.
In here.
What is the meaning of this?
Sit down, Miss Lane. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I feel that you'll be less bothersome to me. I tie you to this chair.
Let me alone.
This room is completely soundproof, so you can make all the noise you wish.
Let go of me, I say. Where is Mr. Cranston?
I guess you're securely tied. I hope none of the ropes cut you, but they won't hurt long.
What are you going to do to me?
As much as I deplore the necessity, Miss Lane, you must be destroyed. You see, you've inadvertently run into something a little bigger than you are. A simple plot that can't fail. I, one man alone, will know the secret of the gradual but complete demoralization of this whole country, and eventually our whole civilization.
You alone? What about Professor Brown?
Well, I'm sorry to say, Miss Lane, that he outlived his usefulness. Professor Brown is no longer associated with me. Oh, for that matter, he's no longer associated with this world. It's rather amusing. I wonder what's keeping Cranston. He should be here. Well, perhaps it would entertain you, Miss Lane, if I were to tell you more about my invention.
You're the most cold-blooded fiend I've ever heard of in my life.
Well, strangely enough, that's a compliment. Thank you. But my invention.
Yes, tell me about it.
Well, the simplest explanation is that it's a machine which generates invisible rays. But when two of these machines are placed opposite each other, unbelievable heat occurs at the point where the rays meet. Interesting, isn't it?
But, Dr. Forbes, why must you destroy and kill? Why don't you put this great invention to some good use?
Well, my dear Miss Lane, it depends entirely on one's point of view. Now I must show you exactly how this invention works. Directly in front of you is one of the machines in that packing case. Behind you is another one. Here by the door is a control panel. When I pull this lever, in less than 5 seconds, you will completely disappear. You'll be dead. Gone. Interesting, isn't it? Well, Miss Lane, I'm afraid I can't wait any longer. I'll deal with Mr. Cranston separately. But you are going to die now.
Don't touch that control panel, Dr. Forbes.
The shadow.
Tonight, Dr. Forbes, instead of destroying the 3 strategic points in this city, the machines that would have caused this damage have been destroyed. And you, Dr. Forbes, will be giving another lecture on your machine, but this time to the police.
You're wrong, Shadow. The police will never know. There are 3 people in the world that know anything about my invention, and all 3 of us are in this room. None of us are going to leave this room alive. It's amusing, isn't it? Shadow, no matter what you say, I'm going to destroy us all now. The lights. The current is off. Shadow, you threw that main switch on the wall. Shadow, I know where you are, and I'm going to shoot you.
I'm afraid you didn't know where I was, Doctor. You can never harm the Shadow by shooting at his voice. His voice can come from anywhere. Amusing, isn't it? It will do no good, Forbes.
I have 1 shot left, Shadow. I've saved it for myself.
Oh, Shadow, turn on the lights. Oh, I never expected to see lights again.
Margot, he's dead. The rest of this case is for the police.
Lamont, I hate to bother you, but you'll have to untie these knots.
Margot, what a terrible experience for you. How do you feel?
If I were shaking any more, I'd fall apart.
Well,
Now, what can that be?
I'll see.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll go with you. I don't want to be here alone. Shrevey.
I hope you'll excuse me for busting in the door, but I'm scared, Miss Lane. It's about them eggs.
The eggs?
Yeah, the eggs. You see, I thought it would be a nice surprise if I went to your place and cooked the eggs, so I put the wash boiler full of eggs on the living room floor on a hot plate, And then I thought I'd amuse myself by turning on one of them new television sets. It looks like you got in your apartment.
Shrevey, you didn't try them, did you?
Yeah. I turned the switch on one of them and nothing happened. So I tried the other one. I just threw the switch on and off quick like. Miss Lane, I don't know what happened. I can't find a wash boiler. But, Miss Lane, right in the middle of your rug, you got 400 of the nicest scrambled eggs you ever saw.
And now, here's that important message I promised you, brought to you by John Barclay, America's distinguished home heating expert. Mr. Barclay.
Thank you, Ken Roberts, and good evening, friends. In answer to the many letters I've received from people all over the country who have trouble getting plenty of hot water during the warm weather months, here's what we've done. The Blue Coal Engineering staff has worked out the easy solution to this all-important hot water problem. Yes, that solution is in plain, everyday language, and I want to present it to you absolutely free of charge. It tells how you can get oceans of low-cost hot water automatically controlled with no running downstairs to light the heater, no fussing with dampers. It tells how you can enjoy all the comfort, all the convenience of clean, clear hot water at the turn of a faucet. How you can have water just as hot as you want it and when you want it, and at the same time, how you can cut your hot water costs as much as 50% or more. Friends, wouldn't you like to be able to go away for the weekend with no worries about having plenty of hot water to refresh you when you return? Wouldn't you like to get twice as much hot water all summer long at less cost and save time and trouble in the bargain? Well, then, just drop me a postcard. I'll be only too happy to send you this hot water plan immediately, free by return mail, right tonight, so that you'll be sure to be prepared for a comfortable summer. Thank you.
Be sure to send to Mr. Barclay's hot water information. Just jot down your name and address on a penny postcard and mail to John Barclay, Barclay, 120 Broadway, New York City. Or to John Barclay in care of the station to which you are listening. That's John Barclay, either at 120 Broadway, New York City, or in care of the station to which you are listening. Write Mr. Barclay tonight. Today's program is based on a story copyrighted by the Shadow magazine. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. The Shadow magazine is on sale at your local newsstand.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, Blue Coal, America's finest anthracite, will again present another thrilling adventure of the Shadow. You'll be amazed by the daring of the Shadow as he pits his powers against the diabolical craft of a ruthless lawbreaker. So be sure to listen, and be sure to burn Blue Coal for greater heating comfort at less cost.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
Avoid 5 o'clock shadow.
Use gem blades. Use gem blades. Use gem blades. Gem razors and gem blades present The Adventures of the Falcon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon. Oh, Nancy, I'm glad you called. What's on the program for tonight? Well, it sounds like an awfully dead evening, baby. But you can never tell. Tomorrow there may be morning.
Once again, Gem Blades, the razor blades that help you avoid 5 o'clock shadow, bring you the adventures of the Falcon. The Falcon, as you know, is Michael Waring, freelance detective, who's always ready with a hand for oppressed men and an eye for repressed women. So join him tonight when the Falcon learns murder is a family affair. It's a rainy Tuesday evening in New York, and the city streets are deserted save for a dark red convertible which is parked at the curb. And at the wheel sits Brenda Sinclair, fondling her pet Pekingese, Wang Poo.
No, baby, don't be impatient. Daddy's going to meet us shortly. Then you and Mama are going to go far, far away where nasty mans can't find us.
Hello, Brenda.
Oh, Kenny, darling.
Have you been waiting long?
It seemed like years.
That's just the way I felt in that hallway.
Ray.
Oh, hello, Sinclair. Fancy meeting you here.
I thought I warned you to stay away from my wife.
Brenda doesn't care about you. She hasn't for years.
Ray, I'm leaving you.
Really?
Kenny and I are going away on a little trip.
Maybe Kenny is, Brenda, but not you.
Ray, put away that gun.
What's the idea, Sinclair?
I warned you to stay away from my wife, Kenny, but you wouldn't listen.
Ray!
Maybe this is the only language you can understand.
Ray, don't!
Raymond Sinclair, it is the judgment of this court that you be confined to State's Penitentiary, and on the night of November 27th, you shall be electrocuted there, as provided for by state law. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Sinclair?
Yes, sir.
Some visitors for you.
Hello, Mike. Nancy.
Hello, Ray.
Ray. Have you heard anything yet?
You better tell him, Mike.
Ray, we just got back from seeing the governor.
Bad news, huh?
I'm sorry, fella.
I wasn't very hopeful. No matter how you put it, I still killed a man in cold blood. Well, we Sinclairs never did have much luck with our women anyway.
At least you'll be glad to know your brother Danny broke the jinx.
Ah, good for him. Too bad I never got a chance to meet his wife. What do you think of her, Nancy?
Gloria is all right.
I'm glad to hear that. Danny deserves the best. He's a good kid.
1 in a million. He and Gloria are waiting at my apartment.
Mike, I wonder if you'd do me a great favor.
You don't have to ask, Ray.
I'm a little worried about Danny. I'm afraid he may go off the deep end after this. You know, he always felt that Brenda was responsible for this mess.
I understand.
He's just a kid, Mike. He's got screwy ideas. Will you keep an eye on him?
It's a promise.
Mike, what time is it?
Almost 9.
They say the last 60 minutes are the toughest. Got a cigarette?
Oh, sure. Have one, Nancy?
Yes, please.
No, not 3 on a match. Mike, you're gonna stick around for the... I'd like you to. Very much.
Oh, back already?
Yes, it's all over, Gloria.
I know. We heard the flash on the radio. Where's Danny? In the living room.
How's he taking it?
Not so good, Mike. If he'd only yell or cry, I could understand it. But he just sits there and looks at the wall. He won't even talk to me.
Shh. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
How's the boy?
Great.
Danny, I can't tell you.
Mike, maybe Danny would like some coffee.
Oh, that's a swell idea, darling. Why don't you make some?
No, don't bother, Nancy.
Danny, for heaven's sake, stop it.
I'm sorry, Gloria.
Danny, you've got to stop tormenting yourself. We know what you're going through.
No, I don't think you do, Nancy. Mike, did you make all the funeral arrangements?
No, you see, kid, it was kind of taken out of my hands.
Oh, what do you mean?
Your sister-in-law, Brenda, claimed the body.
Oh, good old Brenda. She doesn't miss a trick, does she? I hope there were plenty of sob sisters around to catch her act.
Yes, she ought to get a headline out of it.
And without any effort.
All right, Danny, spill it. What have you got on your mind?
Murder.
Danny.
That's right, Gloria. I got an appointment with Brenda tonight. And I'm afraid she doesn't know about it yet.
Danny, you're not being funny.
I didn't intend it to be.
Why don't you get wise to yourself?
What?
It's time you grew up. Try to be a man for a change and not a sniveling brat.
Oh, I'm glad to find out what you think of me, Gloria.
Oh, Danny, don't you see she's only telling you that for your own good?
Oh, don't argue with him, Nancy. It isn't worth the effort. He'll go along all his life feeling sorry for himself, wondering why everybody picks on him. Well, I've seen kids of 10 with more stuff than he's got.
Anything else you'd care to add?
No, I've said my piece, Danny. Anytime you want to go, it's perfectly all right with me.
Thanks for your permission, dear.
Mike, don't let him.
Danny, where'd you get that gun?
It's yours. I got it out of your desk drawer.
Let me have it.
I'm sorry, friend. No can do.
Danny, I want you to give me that gun.
Now, Mike, you've been swelling me, so please don't make me do something I'll be sorry for. I'll stay where you are.
Are you going to give me that gun?
I'll come closer next time, Mike.
Danny, listen to me.
I have, Gloria, and I've taken it very much to heart. So I'm just a kid making big talk, am I? Well, watch me change to a man of action.
Well, now we have to worry about Danny and hope he'll realize that Brenda's not worth shooting. Well, there isn't anything I can do about that. But here's something I can do to help a lot of you who have 5 o'clock shadow. I can tell you that 9 out of 10 men will stay face neat right around the clock by shaving the gem way. That is, with a gem razor and a genuine gem blade. I know it takes a definite effort on your part to change your shaving method, but I promise you that if you shave the gem way, your effort will be repaid every day of your life. Gem razors are again available at your dealers. Get one if you haven't one already, and begin immediately to enjoy Gem's famous features, such as the clever face-fitting bevel, which compels you to use the master barber's long, gliding stroke. And, too, you'll like the way the super keen Gem blade gets the beard at skin level, so close, clean, and comfortable. So try the Gem way, won't you? Avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a Gem razor and Gem blades. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. It's a few minutes later, and in Mike's apartment, the Falcon and Gloria listen anxiously while Nancy makes a call.
Well, Nancy?
Oh, the operator couldn't give me the number, Mike. Now, how are you going to warn Brenda?
I really don't see why you people are so concerned. Danny won't do anything.
You're wrong, Gloria.
Look, Mike, I'm married to him. I know how he reacts. Why, Danny could no more kill her than I could. Basically, he's just a sweet kid.
Just a sweet kid bent on murder.
Well, then, you think he meant what he said?
Every word.
Well, then why didn't you do something?
I'm trying to, Gloria. Now, let me think.
Now, you do that, Mike, but I'm not going to sit around and wait any longer. I'm going after Danny.
Gloria, come back here.
Let her go, darling. It'll give her something to occupy her mind.
But shouldn't we phone the police or something?
I'd rather not. If it ever gets out that Danny's gunning for his sister-in-law, it'll make a Roman holiday for the newsboys.
Well, what do you think Danny will be doing meanwhile? In case you've forgotten, darling, that boy is wired for sound.
And suppose we attempt a little short-circuiting. Maybe we can still beat him to her apartment. Get your coat, baby. It's worth a try.
Dog, you did, Miss Brenda, didn't you, baby? Come on, let's see who it is, darling.
Oh, it's you, De Silva. What do you want?
How can I talk to you when all the time you got that lousy dog in your lap?
Don't speak that way about Wang Pu.
Excuse me, please. Brenda, in the last month you borrowed close to 12 grand from me.
You'll get your money back.
Sure. But when, Brenda?
Any day, as soon as they settle Ray's estate.
I got news for you, darling.
What are you talking about?
Papa didn't leave you a cent.
How do you know?
It's my business to know.
The dirty double-crosser, and after I gave him the best years of my life.
You know, for a smart dame, Brenda, you don't use your head so good. 12 grand don't mean so much to De Silva. How you like me to call him off, huh?
What's the catch, De Silva? You never gave away anything in your life.
No catch. Just marry me.
Are you kidding?
You could do worse.
Why, you fat slob, I wouldn't have you for all the gold in your teeth.
For a damn who's in hockey, you're awful fussy.
Don't make me laugh. Now go on, get out.
You want to watch your mouth, girlie. Nobody ever talks to De Silva like that.
Are you threatening me, you big ape? Come on in.
Hello, Brenda.
Oh, why, Sugar Plum, this is a surprise. It was awfully sweet of you to call.
Isn't it sweet of me, too?
Oh, Nancy, I didn't see you.
Are we interrupting something?
No, nothing important. Mr. De Silva was just leaving, weren't you, Fatso?
Have your little joke, Brenda. Maybe when you think him over, it won't be so funny.
Oh, there, darling. Did nasty man frighten Mama's baby? Isn't she sweet, Michael? She's pedigreed, you know.
Takes after her mother, doesn't she?
Yes. What did you mean by that crack? You
Exactly what you think I mean.
Well, Nancy never liked me, Michael. You were the only one who ever understood me.
Yes.
Why, Sugar Plum.
Oh, come now, Brenda. This is Sugar Plum, remember? He knew you when.
Very funny. Well, what do you want? I don't suppose you came around to offer your condolences.
No, but I came around to offer some advice. Your brother-in-law, Danny's gunning for you.
Look, Mike, if that's all you've got to say, you can beat it. Little Brenda can look after herself.
All right, darling, let's go.
Okay.
Oh, Sugar Plum,
Huh?
did Ray leave all his money to Danny?
Why?
Nothing. It just dawned on me that my brother-in-law isn't such a kid at that. He's got possibilities. The right woman could do a lot for him.
Maybe the right woman could. But if I were you, I'd forget it, Brenda.
But then you're not me, dear. Because what I've forgotten, you'll never learn. Good night, you lovely people. There, sweetheart. Come to Mama. That's the sweet thing. Mama's little baby was so hungry, and I'm going... All right, I'm coming. Danny, darling, I'm so glad you dropped in.
Nothing could keep me away.
Here, let me take your coat.
Never mind.
Now, Danny, don't be mean to Brenda. Now that poor Ray is gone, there's just the two of us left. We've got to look out for one another. Danny, put away that gun.
As soon as I've finished.
You're frightening Wang Pu.
What about you?
Danny, you've got to believe me. It wasn't my fault.
You're quite fool.
You're crazy, Danny. You're crazy. You'll never get away with it. They'll fire you like they did Ray.
I don't think so.
Danny, please, please.
Mike, I'm worried.
But there's no reason to be, Nancy.
When I think of Danny roaming the streets with a gun,
Well, don't you worry about Brenda. That baby can take care of herself.
And don't you know it?
Yes, and don't I know... Well,
And just how well did you know her before she met Ray, darling?
Ah, saved by the bell. Come in.
Mike, did you find Danny?
No, didn't you?
No, I looked everywhere. I even went up to Brenda's apartment.
Well?
There was no answer. Mike, I'm scared.
But there's nothing to be scared about. Oh, excuse me.
Hello, Falcon?
Yes?
This is Johnny Gleason down at headquarters.
Oh, hi, Sergeant. How's Trix?
Well, outside of a couple of twinges in my back, I can't complain. Say, Falcon, you were a friend of Ray Sinclair, weren't you?
That's right.
Then it might interest you to learn that murder runs in the family.
What are you babbling about?
Danny just knocked off his sister-in-law.
No. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake. He tried to kill himself afterwards, but he lost his nerve.
Listen, Gleason. Hold everything. I'm coming right down.
Take your time, Falcon. There's no hurry. The way it looks now, your friend's going to be with us for a long, long time.
Now, check me if I'm wrong, Danny. After you pulled the rod, your sister-in-law tried to move away from you.
That's right.
Whereupon you made a couple of more speeches, and then you let fly at her. What'd you do after that?
I turned the gun on myself.
Then you passed out?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that takes care of everything. Now, if you'll just sign this. Oh, now what?
Gleason, tell him to let me in.
All right, George.
Hello, Danny.
Hello, Mike.
How do you feel?
Oh, all right, I guess.
I want you to tell me exactly what happened.
If you don't mind, Falcon, I was here first. Now, go ahead, kid. Sign it.
Now, what's that?
His confession.
Hold it, Danny. Gleason, have you seen Charlie De Silva?
You mean the loan shark?
Yes. He had a fight with Brenda tonight. She was in hock to him.
I heard all about it. We had him on the carpet an hour ago.
How come you let him go without informing me?
Look, Falcon, I was under the impression the new mayor's name was O'Dwyer.
Well, can't you give me a little time to get all the angles?
Why do you want to give the kid false hopes? We know who killed the dame. He admits it.
He's right, Mike.
Yeah, and this is the gun you used, ain't it?
Yes, sir. I took it from Mike's apartment.
Let's see that.
Anything to waste time.
Yes, that's mine. Only when he took it, it was fully loaded. Say, wait a minute, Danny. How many shots did you fire at Brenda?
One.
And one at yourself, is that right?
Yes.
And before you left my place, you took a pot shot at me.
Oh, he did he?
Now, that's not the point, Gleason. How many shots in all does that make?
Don't tell me. 3.
All right, Einstein. Look at this chamber. There are 4 exploded shells in there. How do you explain that?
It's easy. He shot the girl twice.
Did you find 2 slugs in her?
Well, no.
Then what happened to the other bullet?
It went wild?
No, it didn't. I only shot her once, and then I turned the gun on myself.
You're lying.
Use your head, Gleason. He's admitted killing her. What motive would he have to lie about that missing bullet?
It must be somewhere in her room.
Did any of your boys find it?
What was the point of looking?
And you can't have any objections if I do.
Falcon, will you stop trying to complicate matters?
Come on, Sergeant. Be a sport. Give me an hour to look over Brenda's apartment. If I can't find the shell by that time, I'll advise Danny to sign the confession.
There'll be no more horsing around?
I give you my word.
Okay, here's the key.
Mike, how much of that hour have we got left?
About 20 minutes.
Well, then we'll have to work a lot faster.
Well, there's one sure thing. That slug isn't anywhere on this floor.
No.
Suppose we try to reconstruct what happened.
How?
I'll play Danny and you play Brenda.
Oh, this ought to be fun. What do I do?
Well, according to Danny's story, he was standing over by the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you back away from me as if you were afraid.
You mean like this?
Oh, that's perfect. I pull out the gun.
Mike, put that thing away.
It's all right, dear. I just want to make this as realistic as possible.
Let's not overdo it. You don't have to point it at me.
Don't haggle, Nancy. Get on with your act. Pretend you're Brenda. Now, what would you say?
Now, you wouldn't shoot poor little me. Now, would you, Sugar Plum?
I certainly will if you continue with that sugar plum routine. Where'd you pick that up?
From Brenda.
Oh.
The question is, where did she pick it up?
Now, darling, stick to your script. Where were we? Oh, yes. You just finished pleading for your life.
And it's availed me nothing.
Right, so now I shoot. Bang!
Am I dead?
Very. Just crumpled gracefully to the floor. Ah, that's the way.
How do I look as a corpse?
Not so good.
Oh, and I thought I gave a wonderful performance.
No. No, something's missing.
Did I leave out a sugar plum?
Say, wait a minute. I think I've got it. Sure, you know what's wrong with this picture. You didn't have...
Mike.
I heard it. Maybe someone's coming in here. Just stay quiet. Hello, De Silva.
Huh?
I said hello. Now shut the door and come in. What are you doing here?
Since when I gotta answer your questions?
Might be smart if you did. See this?
Put that rod away, Falcon. You're not frightening anybody.
Except me.
Nancy, phone Sergeant Gleason. Tell him I'm taking De Silva over to my apartment. Ask him to bring Danny there.
But, Mike, isn't that highly irregular?
Highly. But then, dear, this is a most unconventional murder.
You know something, Falcon? I got a hunch you're gonna be very sorry about this.
And I got a hunch, De Silva, you may be right. Nancy, that must be Sergeant Gleason. Will you let him in?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Sergeant.
Hiya, Nancy.
Oh, and you brought a friend along. How nice.
Hiya, Nancy.
Fine. Guess who's here?
What? Gloria. Gloria. Honey.
Danny, darling. Now, don't ogle Gleason. It's not polite. Oh, Sergeant, I believe you know Mr. De Silva.
We've met.
Nancy, will you lock the door, please?
Certainly. What will I do with the key?
Put it where no one can get it.
I know just the place.
Hey, don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. It slipped.
Very comical. I know a good one, too. Suppose I tossed you all in the clink.
Relax, Gleason. I'll tell you why Nancy did that.
It better be good.
It is. The killer of Brenda Sinclair is in this room.
You don't have to tell me. I brought him here.
Well, if you did, he's not getting out alive.
What are you talking about?
Why do you think I had Nancy lock that door?
You expect to sweat a confession out of someone?
More than that, Gleason. Give me half an hour, and that someone will be sweating blood. Only this time it'll be his own.
Well, all I can say is that the Falcon's going to find it slightly grim if he doesn't make good. You know, that's one thing that never worries me when I make statements about the Gem way of shaving. Gem always makes good. And now the Gem razors are once more available at all dealers. More men than ever before can shave the Gem way and so avoid 5 o'clock shadow. You know, of course, that to get the best out of your Gem razor, you must use Gem blades. They fit precisely, shave perfectly. Their super keen, deep wedge edge gets the beard at the base, clean and close. No topping the beard, no little islands of stubble left on your chin. You get incredibly close, smooth shaves which naturally last much longer. That's why we can say that a Gem shave will keep your face socially acceptable right around the clock. So try the Gem way of shaving. Avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a Gem razor and Gem blades. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. 25 minutes have passed since Mike Waring made his promise to reveal the killer of Brenda Sinclair. And now in the Falcon's apartment.
Well, how about it, folks? Anybody feel like confessing? How about you, De Silva? They say it's good for the soul.
You can go right...
Easy now, fella.
Look, Falcon, a joke's a joke. But
what?
If you don't open that door...
I'm sorry, Gleason. You saw Nancy lose the key. No one's leaving until the murderer confesses.
But Danny killed her. Didn't you, kid?
Well, I'm not so sure now.
Say, what goes on here?
Well, I only fired 3 shots out of that gun.
So you did. But the chamber shows that 4 were fired. Maybe you'd like to know what happened to that missing bullet.
Did you find it in Brenda's apartment, Falcon?
No. That's what put me on the right track.
You didn't, so it did. Oh, why didn't I learn a trade?
Try to visualize this scene, Sergeant. Because this is what must have happened after Danny shot Brenda.
We know. She keeled over dead.
That's just it. She wasn't dead then. That bullet didn't touch her.
And the man's crazy.
No one ever saw Brenda unless she was carrying about that pet Pekingese of hers. Wang Pu. It was the only thing she was fond of.
So what?
Well, that's where your missing bullet went. It hit the dog.
What?
That's right. And Brenda fainted from sheer fright, as anyone might. But Danny didn't know that. He turned the gun on himself. Next, our murderer enters. He sees Brenda and Danny out cold, so he takes the gun out of Danny's hand and pumps a shot into Brenda. And he exits, but not before he removes the dying dog.
Why?
He had to. Otherwise, it would give the whole show away. Am I right, De Silva?
How would I know that?
That's right, you wouldn't. Come to think of it, you had no real motive to kill Brenda. You wanted either Brenda or the money you loaned her. Well, with her dead, you were out of luck on both counts. So if we want to find our killer, we'll have to look elsewhere for him.
Mike, you said him. Then our murderer is a man. Huh?
That was a figure of speech, dear. It happens our killer is a woman. Isn't she, Gloria?
What?
That's right. She killed Brenda.
What? The whole thing's crazy. I killed her.
No, you only thought you did, Danny. Isn't that right, Gloria?
What am I supposed to do? Break down and confess?
It might help if you want to get out of here.
I'm in no hurry. I can stay all night. I hope your guest room is comfortable.
I'm afraid you'll never live to use it. I see you've got a Band-Aid on your hand. Is that where Wang Pu nipped you when you picked him up?
Will this go on much longer?
Not much. I had some of the blood on Brenda's carpet analyzed. It was dog's blood. And the vet told me that the hound had rabies. And whoever handled it was bound to get hydrophobia. Do you ever have hydrophobia, Gloria?
You're not frightening me.
He must have gotten that bite around 10 o'clock. That means the incubation period is almost over. Maybe a half hour more. They tell me unless you get to a doctor fast, it starts off with a burning sensation. By the way, Gloria, how does that hand feel? Kind of itchy?
Stop. Stop it, Mike. You're not funny.
It's an awful temptation to scratch it, isn't there? Better watch out for that, darling. That spreads the infection all the faster.
Cut it out. For heaven's sake, cut it out.
Why, Gloria, where are you going? That door's locked, remember?
Let me out of here. Let me out. I've got to get to a doctor, please. Please, let me out.
Michael,
There wasn't any blood on Brenda's carpet.
That's right.
And that pooch didn't have rabies.
Of course not. Was a nice touch, though, wasn't it?
Oh, lovely.
It just goes to prove what a terrible thing a guilty conscience can be.
Yes, but I still don't understand why Gloria killed Brenda.
Oh, she didn't intend to originally. She thought Danny was going to do it for her. But when he fumbled the ball, she had to do the job herself.
I don't follow you.
Well, Gloria knew the cops would grab Danny for the murder.
You mean she wanted to get rid of him?
That was her fondest desire. When Ray went to the chair, Danny became a rich kid. If anything happened to him...
His money would go to Gloria.
Natch. Could you ask for a better motive?
Then when she bawled Danny out before he left...
She was just trying to goad him on.
Mm-hmm. But, Mike...
Now, darling, I've told you everything.
Oh, no. There's one thing you forgot.
What?
Brenda called you sugar plums. How do you explain that?
Oh, Nancy, let's not go into that now. It's a long story.
Oh, but that's the kind I like best.
Come here, darling.
Now, Michael, stop it. You're not going to get out of it like that.
I didn't intend to, dear. You wanted to hear the story of Brenda and Sugar Plum.
Yes.
Well, what you got just then was the prologue.
Murder is a grave situation. Murder is a grave situation. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that even those with double trouble can only die once. So be sure and listen next week at this same time to another gay, exciting adventure of the Falcon. And in the meanwhile, avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a gem razor and gem blades. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake. James Meehan was starred as the Falcon. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Looking to conquer the world of work?
You have been listening to Golden Age Hour, brought to you by G3PL.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old time radio programs. Their dedication to safeguarding these precious audio gems ensures that future generations can relish the enchanting stories, music, and entertainment of the past. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.